The only person I can see feasibly showing up in the chat will be Ree, because he's the only one who seems to have been capable of finding my Rumble account and creating one of his own to chat, so... Which is good, because Ree has been the most normal person in my chat lately. I've honestly lost a lot of patience with Chisu, so I haven't really been doing Chisu's chat. Like, I've literally just been ignoring the vast majority of his comments. I've only been reading the short ones.
And this is being recorded to be re-uploaded on YouTube, right?
Rumble will let me download the file, I'm pretty sure, and if it doesn't, I can restream the Rumble stream on YouTube or re-record it that way, if need be.
Okie dokie.
But I'm fairly certain that Rumble will let me download the file. But yeah, so we're live. It's the Team Redeye Shit Show. If you haven't watched this before, I mean, this is literally the first one I've done on Rumble. It will be going on YouTube later, but if you've been watching me during this week on Rumble, you know I am currently suspended on YouTube for hate speech for some reason. I don't fucking know.
It makes sense to me.
They were really vague. It really was not clear what the issue was.
I mean, look at you. You're you.
Yeah, but, like, what specifically? You know what I mean?
What did I do to deserve this?
I mean, what specifically? What? Yeah, exactly. No, like, that's the thing, is, it was an old stream of me and Corbin playing Halo, which we've done a lot of, and, I didn't really get a chance to watch it to figure out what exactly it was, because they didn't give me any timestamps or anything. It was nearly 3 hours long, and it won't let me view it normally, so I have to, like, watch it in YouTube Studio, which makes it very small up in the corner of the screen, and it makes it take forever to load, and it's constantly buffering, so there was no way in hell I was going to sit through the whole thing to figure out what exactly got me in trouble there.
It's probably a time when you, like, killed a grunt that was begging for mercy. That's probably what
it could have been the title even. What I think is maybe it got flagged by one of their new algorithms, and then another one of their algorithms just rejected the appeal. Usually when that happens, they approve the appeal and I get restored. But anyway, today we're talking about cryptids, so let's move on from that. What the shit show is, I guess I should explain, because that's what I was trying to do before I started going off a tangent about the strike. What the shit show is it is a, kind of like a podcast, I guess. I guess that's really what it is. We just kind of talk about whatever. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times we have a topic, some episodes we don't. This one we in fact do. So, I'm going to let you take the lead since it's your topic. We're going to talk about cryptids. Cryptids are something we talk about a good amount off stream, but I figured... we've been meaning to do this episode for quite some time.
Yeah, for now, I would like to say hi, Rumble, and for those of you in the future, hi, YouTube.
Yeah, there you go.
So, what I was thinking of was, what I thought of today, and again, I don't know if this has been thought of before, although it does make sense that it would be something that could be thought of before. I just thought about it. And I don't know how unique it is. Okay. So you know how we humans, we have the phenomenon known as the uncanny valley?
Yeah.
Where we see like a mannequin, we see a robot singing a song. There's that on YouTube. Everyone's like,
yeah, I feel fantastic. Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that seems unique to humans, because whenever... Like, there's been times where we've set up a dummy, like something that looks like another animal, and we put it in an area where the animals go, and those animals will try to, interact with it. They'll even to some point to the cases where they would fuck it.
Right.
And I actually have a very fun one. There was this UK program. I think it was on the BBC. It was about dinosaurs, and they had they would go back into... I wish I remember the name of it. They would go back in time, and they collect dinosaurs from back in time, and like put them in a zoo and stuff. And one of the things that they got was a mammoth. They got a woolly mammoth, and they tried to set up an arc where the elephants at the zoo would not like the mammoth and be like very cold to it. But it would do something, like it would save an infant during It would save an infant elephant during an event, and then like the elephants will like it. That's the arc they wanted to set up. But then when they had the elephants interact with the animatronic, they were very friendly to the animatronic, like immediately.
Okay.
Which, you know, is something you'd never expect from an elephant. They're smart enough they should be smart enough to know that's an animatronic.
Right.
But they apparently did not notice that.
Okay.
But anyways, it seems to be something that only humans have, so it made me think. So like the only way that would exist is because there had to have been some innate fear against things that look like us but that aren't us, and that must have been such a legitimate fear that it propagated and now is something that pretty much everyone has, right?
Okay.
So I was thinking as to why that could be a thing. And then when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about all these stories, whether they're real or not, all these stories about stuff like vampires, skinwalkers, gates, wendigos, sirens, black-eyed children, all these stories about cryptids that look like us but aren't us, pretty much 100% of the time, they are natural predators to us. Right. They seem to be the only natural predators to us.
Uh-huh.
And so that if they were ever real to begin with, that makes sense why we have Uncanny Valley.
Right. Oh, and hey, Ree, sorry. I saw your comment there, Ree. I just didn't want to interrupt, so hello.
Hello, Ree. You predicted correctly. Ree would be here.
Yeah, I knew he would be. Like I said, Ree is like the only one who actually was capable enough to get onto Rumble, I guess, for some reason. But again, Chisu and Andy have been kind of annoying, and Ree's been the most normal in chat. So I'm actually happy that Ree is the one who was able to do it.
Is Ree on the Discord?
No, Ree is not on the Discord.
Oh, because I would have been like, we can have him in on this if he's got something.
Yeah, no, Ree is not on the Discord.
Okay.
That I know of. I guess there's technically a couple of accounts that could theoretically be Ree, but I mean, they're all people I know. So unless Ree is playing a long game and he's a different person that's been just like pretending, you know?
Well, I don't have a Rumble, and I don't know how to actually see the comments. So if he says anything of importance, then
I could just do this.
I think I know what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Rumble wouldn't let him put 69 in his name, so that's why there's a 7. Which I think is kind of...
7-9?
Yeah.
Wait, really? Rumble did... Of all things.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess I never considered the fact that it could be that the name was taken. But, no, I don't have Discord installed on my phone. Oh, okay.
Did you hear about the fact that Pornhub is banned here in Utah?
Yeah, I sure did. I talked about it on one of my Redeye Raws.
Oh, did you? What did you say?
I said that because it's part of a broader problem, right? Where Utah passed a law making it to require further age verification, and I said something like that is probably vague and hard to enforce. I am ultimately in favor of the concept of preventing kids from having access to that sort of thing. However, I don't like the idea of websites being able to take, credit cards, stuff like that. I don't like giving websites more information. So, it's an issue I'm kind of torn on, but at the end of the day, I personally don't think it'll work. And then I think Pornhub are cowards for just pulling out rather than trying to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm on about. It's just like...
Yeah.
I think I'm more or less... Like, at the same time, I don't like the fact that the lawmakers did that, because it's so vague and hard to enforce.
Mm-hmm.
I also agree with it, because, kids should not...
You're right, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But, so I'm more against Pornhub here, because,
because they're a bunch of bitches. Because, look, Xvideos hasn't changed shit. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And, as far as I know, there's no legal cases going against them right now.
Yeah.
In all honesty, it could just be a toothless thing done by the governor to try and appeal to conservatives. In all honesty, he might not even fucking do anything with it.
I just barely thought of, I'm gonna see if Fuku did anything.
Okay. Well, none of the sites that I use have changed anything. Like Itch.io and Newgrounds still have all their games being able to be accessed without having to do anything. Anyway.
Yeah, you could get into Fuku just fine.
Yeah, I figured. But yeah, as far as your theory here, right? It makes sense that there would have been some sort of humanoid creature that, like any of those cryptids you mentioned. That is why it's evolutionarily ingrained in us to fear the uncanny, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's true that no other animals really have that. However, aren't there some... Like, for instance, couldn't the argument also be made, though, that lots of animals can disguise themselves as things to deceive other animals, and they haven't started fear... Like, for instance, have you heard of a spider snake?
Yeah, I have.
It has a tail that looks like a fucking spider, right? And it can move, and it's fucking weird. But birds don't fear spiders.
Well, birds tend to eat snakes, so...
Yeah, but snakes also tend to eat birds.
Yeah, they kind of have a back-and-forth relationship there.
I suppose you're right.
And I wouldn't imagine they would get the fear of spiders that way, because spiders aren't the things doing bad things to them.
Right.
But then again, I guess they're mimicking it.
Yeah. That's just what I was... And, maybe that's a moot point. I don't know. It was just a thought I had in that, there are plenty of things that disguise themselves as other things, and you don't see animals, but getting a healthy fear of that. But maybe...
You do see that, though, with some things, because there are certain moths out there that imitate owls, and then things that are prey to owls don't go anywhere near those things.
True. Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, your theory is interesting, especially since, obviously, humanoid cryptids are something that I think tend to be on the more plausible side with cryptids, right?
Yeah. Oh, another cryptid I forgot to bring up. Werewolves as well. That's another, look like humans. I guess I also probably should have said that either these cryptids look like humans or they have the ability to look like humans, like the Skinwalker and Gates.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that before, so that is interesting.
Alright, well, did you have anything you wanted to talk about in terms of the cryptids, or anything specific you'd like me to bring up?
Well, I mean, we could just jump into
There's obviously the big one. I don't know if we wanted to start this now or...
Right, I was about to say, we could jump off with it or we could save it till later. It's up to you, I don't really care. I mean, it's in the title.
Yeah, if we don't want to do the thing that's in the title, I guess we could move on to the Patty thing. The whole thing that I have about Patty.
Yeah, you know what, let's do that. Yeah, you mentioned that, yeah. Because that's been an interesting one that we've talked about a few times.
Mm-hmm. So I firmly believe that Patty, which, in case for everyone who doesn't know, it's the iconic Bigfoot sighting, the one where it's doing that weird walk thing, and it's a very grainy video. I believe that specific Bigfoot was real. I don't believe in most Bigfoot sightings, and as a matter of fact, I would hazard a guess that Bigfoots are probably extinct now. But I believe that specific sighting was real. And we can go into that, but I don't know if, Redeye, do you want to say anything what you thought about this video before I talked to you about this stuff?
I think, I've always thought, I mean, look, there's the rational side of my mind, and then there's the irrational side, right? I don't think anyone is wholly rational, right? Mm-hmm. And part of me does like to believe in things like cryptids, and so I'm always open to that idea just because it makes things more interesting. And the rational side of me did always find the whole Sasquatch Bigfoot thing to be more plausible. I think it's more than likely, if there are any left, it's not very many, because, again, it's kind of ridiculous that we wouldn't have caught one by now.
Yeah.
With that video, the first time I ever saw it, I thought it was real. However, videos supposedly debunking it did convince me for a while, but then you re-convinced me that it was real, so...
What were some of the things that debunked in those ones? Because I probably have answers for those
I
ones.
don't remember any of the points made. I just remember people saying it was clearly someone in a gorilla suit, that it, walked like a human, which just isn't true.
I mean, it kind of walks like a human, but,
But, isn't there, didn't you say there was something about the movement that wasn't possible for a human?
It wasn't possible for a human in a costume.
Right.
There is something that isn't possible for a human. So, because the video is so grainy, and it's not filmed in the amount of frames that it should be filmed in, because it was filmed in a panic. The guy who filmed it, he was panicking, because he was like, oh shit, this is it. Because they were there to find Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
These people were there to find Bigfoot. And the person who filmed it, he's like, oh shit, this is it. And he had just fallen off his horse because his horse bucked up over seeing this.
Uh-huh.
So he probably didn't film it in the frames that it should have been filmed in. But even if you just hazard a guess based off of what he did say, how he filmed it, that thing is moving way too fucking fast for a human.
Yeah.
It is covering way too much ground in such little time, and it doesn't look like it's running, it looks like it's walking.
Yeah, it moves pretty fucking quick.
Yeah, and one thing that I keep hearing about someone who about to debunk things. So the reason why people firmly think that it's debunked is because the guy himself, the guy who was supposedly in the costume, has come out and be like, yeah, I was the guy in the costume.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the points I remember, yeah.
And the reason why I don't necessarily believe this guy is because he did not like the guy who filmed it.
Yeah.
Originally they were they have a history together, obviously. And the two of them had a falling out. So I think, he's not exactly trustworthy.
Right.
Meanwhile, the guy who was with the guy who filmed it, he still holds to this day that was real.
Yeah.
And he's still invited to, conventions and stuff about, Bigfoot and stuff like that. So I know that you let me stream it, but, the video's too grainy, so I can't actually read what Ree said.
Ree said, personally, I don't think any Bigfoot is real. I don't believe in Bigfoot. My dad does, though, and my mom watches tons of shows about urban legends. Like I said, I'm open to it, and I tend to lean towards more that it's out there, but I don't necessarily base that on a rational thing. Other than that video is pretty convincing. That's the one that Spencer did convince me was believable when I initially had fallen for I think it was the person in a suit thing that originally convinced me, and then you explained what you just said, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah, and one of the things brought up too, but by the way, I want to make it clear, I don't believe in most Bigfoots. As a matter of fact, I think this is the only Bigfoot sighting I can actually believe in.
And here's the thing, although I do tend to look into the paranormal and stuff like that, and part of me is a believer, but part of me is a skeptic, right? There's a little bit of both. I think, regardless of the truth of any cryptid or paranormal sighting, the vast, vast majority of reports and sightings are fake.
Yeah, and one thing that really pisses me off about people that bring up debunking, so they say that they have proof that this guy is the guy in the costume because he imitated the walk perfectly.
Which he didn't, right?
No, he did, but it doesn't say anything. Imitating the walk perfectly doesn't mean anything. Humans can imitate other movements because that's what dance is.
I've seen plenty of people do the Robbie Rotten dance from We Are Number One. Does that mean that person's the real Robbie Rotten?
Exactly. There you go.
I've seen... I had a manager, not a manager, but a lead at work that used to do the torture dance from JoJo Part 5. Does that prove that he is one of those guys from JoJo, like Mista or Narancia?
I can do the torture dance. I spent forever learning how to do that. So I am Narancia himself.
It's true.
I fucking died.
Since we're talking about cryptids and stuff, this is related. It's aliens, right?
Go for it.
Yeah. So this has nothing to do with actual alien sightings or anything like that, but this has to do with me as a kid and how much of a fucking weirdo I was when I was a kid, right? When I was a kid, I was obsessed with aliens. Like, really obsessed. I had a bunch of, like, inflatable aliens that I played with, like, you know, like those big ones that are, like, you know, like 3 feet tall or whatever?
Yeah.
So I'd blow them up. There's a Yeti in my spaghetti. Okay, Ree. But I would blow them up and I'd, like, play with them and I'd, you know, as a kid, I'd role play with them, right?
Yeah.
But I also, like, I would tape episodes of that show, UFO Files, from the History Channel. Like, I had a VHS and I'd tape them on. And for some reason, I'd rewatch the same episodes over and over, which, again, that just seems odd to me for a show like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura, that makes sense because there are staged elements of that show that make it a hell of a lot more entertaining because he does a bunch of dramatic shit in that show.
Yeah.
But UFO Files is just like, here is a sighting. Here is a reenactment of a sighting. Here are the facts. You know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, me personally, I kind of had a little... Sorry, go ahead. Finish your story.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, like... So, like, I wanted to be abducted when I was a kid. What kind of fucking crazy shit is that? How... What the hell?
Yeah, me personally, I had a little bit of an obsession with aliens when I was younger, but that was simply from the movie Evolution. Which, by the way, anyone out there, who, if you haven't seen Evolution, highly suggest you watch it. It's a pretty funny movie.
I'm pretty sure we did a Redeye Theater on it.
We did.
Did I upload it? I think I uploaded it.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. With Redeye Theater, I can never remember if it's one that I actually upload or if it's one that I don't.
Technically, we didn't do a Redeye Theater on it, but...
We did a shit show.
Well, yeah, so we did a shit show because...
Like, right after watching it.
Yeah, me, and... Can I say his name?
You can say Theron's name. I say it all the time.
Theron had a bit of a watch together where we only watched... I think we only watched one of those movies up to that point. But we had also planned a shit show. I don't remember...
We watched 3 movies that night. We watched Hanabi. Yeah.
But we only watched... I think we only watched Evolution before we recorded the shit show. And I'm pretty sure that shit show was... No, we had watched both... Yeah, no, we had just watched Evolution. That's it.
Okay, and then we watched Stranger Than Fiction and Hanabi after?
Yeah, because then we did the shit show on T. Louis II.
Right. Yeah, that's right. It was because we've only done one shit show with me, you, and Theron, haven't we?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we talked about Evolution at the beginning of that, I believe, for just a little bit.
Okay. That movie made me obsessed with the movie that made me obsessed with aliens was Monsters vs. Aliens, yeah?
How old are you, Reed? Well, I guess don't say that, actually.
I think he's in his 20s, but I don't know. I never asked that, because, I mean, people know that I'm either 28 or 29.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to the movement thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's also just really dumb because there are actual, like, singers out there that do dances on stage, like Michael Jackson, and they don't imitate it perfectly every time.
Right.
So the fact that you can imitate it perfectly literally means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that leads credence to...
Oh, there's been times people have done trademark dances that they themselves... Like, not trademarked in the tradition, but, like, dances that are their signature dance, and they're good at it, and then they fuck it up. So does that mean that they're not legit?
Yeah. Michael Jackson accidentally didn't do moonwalking the right way at one time on stage, so he's no longer Michael Jackson.
Okay, Rhea is 23, turning 24 later this year, so there you go.
Wait, how's he going backwards? Oh, 23 to 24. Okay, never mind.
How would that be backwards? How does time work in your mind, Spencer?
For some reason, I heard 24 to 23. I got those backwards.
23, but will I reach 24 at the rate things are going? I don't know.
So that makes sense.
Spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Wasn't the aliens the bad guys, though? How did you get obsessed with the aliens after that? And, like, it was barely even on screen.
Dude, I got into, like, I watched Signs a lot as a kid, and I was still obsessed with aliens. I don't think it has to make logical sense.
Yeah, I guess.
I love Signs, by the way. Like, Signs is a very flawed movie with a lot of contrivances, but I fucking love it.
There are plenty of planets out there that don't have water. It makes sense. Shut up, everybody.
Well, I mean, the vast majority of planets that we know of don't have water, but they also don't have life.
Exactly. Well, we don't know that for sure.
The only one that we have seen have... correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there bacteria that they found on Mars?
No. We just have found evidence of bacteria having existed there once.
Okay, and obviously I know they found salt water, which indicates that there was probably life there at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, they found evidence that bacteria could exist, like, in the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that they did exist. That just means they could have.
Mm. Okay.
I firmly believe that at least bacteria existed on Mars before we even had life on Earth, because I actually like the idea of panspermia.
Okay.
Which is the fact that the only reason why we have life on here is because it came from somewhere else, and I firmly believe that it came from Mars.
Mars also has SGNs on it.
Yeah, because we know that Earth was made last in the solar system, and that it was made from pieces of other planets.
Okay.
So I firmly like to believe that, a little bit of Mars came here, bringing some bacteria, and then boom, life.
Bill Nye the Science Guy? Okay then, Ray.
Bill Nye the Science Guy got him obsessed with aliens.
No, he was like doing the theme song. He said, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yep, we are taking over. After he did the Bill Nye versus the Internet, was that it?
I don't know.
Is that what it was called?
His god-awful show?
Saves the Internet.
I thought it was Saves the World.
Oh, I think, yeah, it Saves the World.
Yeah. Bill Nye sucks. Fuck Bill Nye.
Yeah, after he did that god-awful show, we had to
My vagina has its own voice!
I had, on VHS, the 2 episodes of Bill Nye the Science Guy, and it was the one about tectonic plates and the one about dinosaurs.
Yep, dinosaurs. No, but Bill Nye the Science Guy is a good show, but Bill Nye himself is a cuck.
Yeah. He lets black people sleep with his wife.
Figuratively.
Allegedly.
Leafy streams on Rumble now?
Yeah, I know, because he keeps getting kicked off of YouTube.
No, but he hasn't tried to come back to YouTube for at least a couple of years.
Well, he did that one time, and then he got kicked off.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But now he's on Rumble, and he streams, every day.
Huh.
It's been pretty fun.
Did you hear about Quantum TV getting arrested?
No, what'd he get arrested for?
Domestic abuse.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So how about that?
That's something.
Yeah. It's funny because he had a stream the day before he supposedly, hit his wife.
Uh-huh.
Where he's talking about hitting her. He's like, man, I really just want to fucking hit her. He was so upset.
Dude, that reminds me of how well that Asperger song about abusing and shit with women, his song Fuck Women, I'm pretty sure I showed it to you.
Yeah, you did.
How well that's aged after the stuff that went down.
Yeah.
But yeah, with my obsession with aliens as a kid, though, I was really into it. I would print out supposed evidence of aliens from Google Images. I'd print out a bunch of alien autopsy stuff.
Yeah.
Reese says he didn't know Quantum TV was based.
No, he's not based. He is a copyright abuser. And fuck that guy.
Obviously, but he's saying it's based that he beat his girlfriend or wife.
He hit his wife.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. No, obviously he's not based.
I'm trying to think about other common things that debunk, but let me talk about actual evidence that they use.
Okay.
That I have that could about the moving back to Bigfoot, moving back to specifically the Patty incident. So on one thing that when it does the pose where it reaches like it's the arm that's closest to the camera moves behind it, and the arm that's furthest away from the camera moves in front of it. It is so. I don't know if you notice. It's kind of grainy, so it's kind of hard to tell. This is clearly a female Bigfoot.
Right.
It very clearly has titties.
Right.
And when its arm touches the its titties, its breast moves it in a way that can only be natural unless it's silicone, which at the time silicone might have existed, but it was definitely like a underground like government thing, and it wasn't something that you would normally it's just something you wouldn't be able to buy and put on a costume.
Right.
And then another thing is when it stomps, like when it puts its feet down, its muscles clearly move in a way that just would not move that way if it was a costume.
Right.
And even there was a guy who analyzed the video who normally does, like, he plays the monkeys in films, like he plays the gorillas in films. He's like the guy in the costume. He saw that, and he was just like, there's nowhere that the zipper can be. Like, where is this zipper? Like, this zipper just doesn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, do we ever see the back of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We primarily see the back of it.
Well, there you go. Case closed.
There's also the fur.
If it doesn't zip, you must acquit.
The zipper, sorry, the fur around the neck normally has a break in it because, it's a costume. Like, it should have a break in it.
Like for the mask.
Yeah, to take off the mask and stuff like that. But it doesn't have that in the film. But the supposed, when this guy came out and said, like, he was the guy in the costume and he showed off the costume, it has a way to take off the head. And
the guy who filmed it was like a nobody, right?
Yeah.
So
he was known as someone who was constantly trying to find Bigfoot.
Right. So it's not like this guy was like loaded.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in Hollywood.
No, he was not.
So even if you tried to make the argument it was some crazy top of the line Hollywood costume, where would he have access to that?
So it's possible that he was in like a lot of people say that based on like the kind of films that he's supposedly known for, which, by the way, this is all supposed, this is not proven, that it's possible that he was like in the black market of Hollywood, but like I said, this is all just supposed stuff brought up by the guy who said that he's the guy in the costume.
I mean, that's a stupid question, Ree. Andrew Tate would destroy Chris Brown because Andrew Tate is a professional fighter. He's had heavyweight champion titles on a couple of occasions. I don't know how many times. I think he's a 4-time heavyweight champion, if I'm right, but I don't remember for sure. But either way, Chris Brown's not a professional fighter.
But have you considered that Chris Brown did beat the fuck out of Beyonce?
True. No, that's clearly why he's making the joke here. Just like how when there was this girl at my work that kept going on about Chris Brown and blah blah blah, right? Like. And Julius, my coworker, he turns to me because he was getting really annoyed because she just kept yapping, and he turns to me and loudly says, "Hey, Angelo, don't you think it was really a good move when Chris Brown switched from rapping to a boxing career?" And she immediately shut the fuck up and walked away.
Did you laugh at that joke?
Of course.
Oh, okay. So now it all makes sense. She's like, "Yep, I don't like either of you."
Actually, no. I think I said something to the effect of, "Oh yeah, of course. I think it was the right career move," or something like. And then I think I laughed when she walked away. And something that I think is like the smoking gun on Patty being potentially real. I don't know. Hang on. Have I brought up any other? Hang on. I probably want to bring up. I'm thinking if there's any other evidence because I want to save this evidence for last. Okay.
If there's any others, I'm trying to think. Oh, so another thing that's constantly brought up as why this is fake is because the way the Bigfoot moves, the way Patty moves, is like the way that someone would move if they want to be seen, right? And so people are like, well, why does the Bigfoot, the Bigfoot we never see anymore, want to be seen? This doesn't make any sense. And the way I think of it is that the Bigfoot is moving in a way that it wants to be seen. I think it's entirely possible. Well, I want to make sure this is very clear. This area used to be very big forest, right? They probably lived here. But it was recently cut down by a bunch of lumber people. Like, they just completely destroyed that forest, right?
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
So these Bigfoot, if they're real, they used to live here. And I think it's entirely possible that this female Bigfoot probably has children, and she's moving away from the children. So that way, and,
a distraction.
As a distraction, yep. Animals do this all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't black bears do that a lot?
What was that?
Don't black bears do that a lot?
Yeah, tons of animals do this all the time, where they will let themselves be noticed and move away from their children to make sure their children are safe.
Right. To be fair, Chris Brown is pretty buff and he's got a whole gang on his side. You said in a fight, not in like a gang battle, and I don't know if Chris Brown has a gang. I don't really know a whole lot about Chris Brown. But if they're doing a one-on-one, hand-to-hand fight, Andrew Tate's going to beat him because he's done boxing and MMA, which I'm pretty sure Chris Brown has done neither.
But Julius said that he moved to a boxing career. Was he lying? Yeah, so then I think that's it. And then for like the smoking gun.
Okay.
We don't have the original version. Like, everything that we see online is not the original version of the film. Because the original film was taken and hidden away in a vault by the government.
That's suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, just the fact that happened is pretty fucking suspicious.
Yeah. So, yeah, because, like, it would potentially be a lot higher quality. We would have a lot higher quality video of that. If like I said, the government didn't take the original footage and lock it away in a vault.
But was it a Vault-Tec vault?
I don't think it was.
Yeah, that's, Look, anytime the government takes footage and doesn't give it back, that immediately raises suspicion for me. There are plenty of events where I can think of where that's happened.
Yeah.
Certain black boxes maybe never being recovered, In the one case they've never been recovered,
Whoa, hang on. You're being a little too on the nose. People are going to figure out what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, I've outright said my opinion on 9/11 multiple times, so it's not like it's something
I've hidden. You just straight up said it now. Now there's no ambiguity.
So?
So yeah, that's why I think in particular, just for this one case, that Patty is real.
Yeah.
And even if it's not real, the guy who thinks it's real, the guy who was with the guy who filmed it, I want him to live the rest of his life thinking that it was real. So I don't want people keep debunking it and stuff like that.
The government is trying to a solid snake on us, as in having suspicious boxes in random places.
They're not suspicious. Nobody ever notices.
If you're talking about the black boxes from 9/11, the boxes themselves aren't suspicious. It's the lack of them that's suspicious.
Yeah, that analogy just doesn't work because, like I said, with people tend not to check under the boxes in the Metal Gear Solid games, anyways.
Yeah, even if it makes no fucking sense. Like, they're like, hey, that box wasn't here 2 seconds ago. Oh, whatever.
They will much rather look at the porn that you put on the floor than pay attention to the box.
Is that a thing in Metal Gear?
Yeah, that is.
Oh.
Not in the newer games, but like the original PlayStation game, you
like
can
Metal Gear Solid 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Metal Gear Solid 3. Even the
Okay.
one that's on the 3DS. You can put porn on the floor, porn magazines on the floor, and soldiers will be like, ooh, and go look at those.
Any porn in this store?
And it's, it's funny because it's like, if I was a soldier and porn wasn't there a second ago and suddenly there is, I would be very suspicious. I would be like, ooh, porn, and start reading it.
Yeah, true. I told you about how I figured out what Mr. Krabs was actually saying when he says any porn in this store, right?
Oh, what does he say?
He's clearly actually, if you pay attention, he's saying any port in the storm.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of a sailor expression, basically saying that, like, this is, like, any port in the storm, like, this place has got to be, like, or, like, basically, I'll go to anywhere, a dive bar, whatever.
Yeah. I've heard it before. But I was letting you explain it because
okay.
It hasn't.
Right.
Like the people watching this.
Yeah. So, like, the any porn in the store, which I legit for a long time thought that's what he had to be saying. Thinking about it, it's clearly any port in the storm. All right. Well, you ever watch Monster Quest?
Yeah, I've seen Monster Quest.
I loved that show when I was younger. I love Go ahead.
It was airing, like, for me at least. I don't know if they were reruns or like actual stuff. They were airing around the same time that Lost Tapes was airing for me when I was watching Lost Tapes. So I would just opt to watch Lost Tapes instead. Cause...
Yeah, but Lost Tapes was like intentionally staged. Like, it was fake.
Yeah.
I watched both, but not at the same time. Because Monster Quest was on different times than Lost Tapes. Then again, I got into Lost Tapes a lot later. I didn't watch Lost Tapes as it was coming out. I did with Monster Quest, so...
I don't know if I would go so far as to say that it's, intentionally, like...
Well, what I'm saying is it's dramatizations.
Yeah, I'm thinking some way it tries to trick you. Because, first of all, they're found footage, and it opens with there are creatures that science refuses to recognize, already putting science in a bad light, being like, yeah, this is the real thing, right?
Yeah.
Lost Tapes. Science sees these found footage and they're like, isn't real, and they throw it to the wayside.
Yeah. I do like Lost Tapes. It was a fun show. I really like it. But anyway, as I was saying with Monster Quest, like, one of the episodes that sticks with me the most is the one about the rods, like, in the sky.
The rods in the sky.
Yeah, rods. They're just called rods. It's a type of cryptid that, like, flies in the sky.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I can show you some stuff at some point. I thought Mr. Krabs said that too, and when I thought that, I said Mr. Krabs is so dirty-minded, yeah. I mean, that episode is banned now anyway, so,
Is it banned because he said porn?
No, it's banned because of the panty raid.
Oh.
I guess you're gonna miss the panty raid.
We all missed the panty raid.
You know which episode that is, right?
I think I had a DVD with it on it.
Yeah, it's still on the DVDs, obviously. Because obviously the DVDs were released pre-ban. Because it got banned in recent years. It's no longer on, any of the streaming apps or anything that it's on. It's my favorite episode of SpongeBob. It's called Midlife Crustacean. It's my favorite episode, so it really pissed me off when they banned it.
Yeah, so it's the one where they want to,
make him feel young again.
Yeah, make him feel young again, so they do a panty raid. And don't they, panty raid... Don't they, accidentally panty raid, SpongeBob's grandma?
No, it's Mr. Krabs' mom's house, and it's not by accident. He just didn't know. And he's like... She comes in, she's like, Eugene, what are you doing with my bloomers? And he's like, Mother. And he's like, why didn't you boys tell me this was my mother's house? And he's like, you didn't ask. Anyway, yeah, the episode with the rods on Monster Quest, that one sticks with me a lot, just because it's one of the more memorable ones for me, I guess. Who wouldn't want to go on a panty raid? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, I watched a lot of those shows back in the day. I never watched, Mountain Monsters or any of that. Mountain Monsters is fucking retarded. I don't know if you've ever seen any of it, but...
Oh, fuck you. Calling it fucking retarded. How dare you? Mountain Monsters is awesome.
I mean, it's funny. How the guy gets possessed by Sasquatch?
Yeah, he gets possessed by Sasquatch. He's out there screaming to the world. He's like, ah! and then they're like, oh shit, he's crazy. And then and then he gets smacked in the head around a little bit.
Yeah, and then he's back to normal.
And then
As
he's
if
like,
nothing
fellas.
happened.
And then he's like, fellas, I'm back. And they all cheer like, yeah, like it's a triumphant return.
And everybody clapped.
Dude, I fucking love mountain monsters. You know what it reminds me of?
What
mountain monsters reminds me of? It feels like a D&D group. And like the old guy is like the dungeon master, making up all these stories about like a cabal of people that are trying to hide the truth, and all these like rivalries that they have with Sasquatch and all sorts of other things. I love them.
I didn't say it wasn't an enjoyable show. I just said it was dumb.
You're dumb.
Dumb doesn't mean bad. Well, I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura is super staged and over dramatic, but I fucking love it.
Yeah, have you seen any of the episodes like that have the overarching narrative of like a cabal of people that are like?
I'm gonna be honest. I have only seen clips of Mountain Monsters. I have never seen an entire episode.
Aw. You should watch it. It's awesome.
I remember Mountain Monsters. I remember my mom watching it a few years ago, yeah. You know another thing I used to watch that's kind of sort of related? Remember when Sci-Fi Channel used to do all those original movies like Sabretooth and Chupacabra and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I used to watch those all the time when I was younger. Chupacabra was really dumb because it took place on like a boat, like a cruise ship.
What are you thoughts about like the whole Chupacabra being real?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think
I mean, like the coyote with mange thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that absolutely, yeah. That absolutely at least accounts for some of the sightings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that it is the exclusive thing with it, and, you know, I'm sure that there were plenty of fake sightings, too. But I think that coyote with mange that, you know, is the Chupacabra, the iconic one that they found down by the border. There was a couple of them. It wasn't just one, obviously.
Yeah.
Because there was the dead one, and then there was the live one that they recorded themselves following.
Yeah, the same thing with the what's it called? The jackalope as well.
Jackalope?
Yeah.
How
so
would you
you know
explain
the
that?
rabbit with the rabbit with antlers?
Yeah, how would that be explained by that?
That's not actually antlers. It's actually like a rare tumor that rabbits can get that just simulate antlers on their heads.
Oh, okay. So you think a lot of these things have like some basis in reality where someone would see something odd and like explain it in ways that make sense to explain it to them?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the case with a lot of strange creature sightings, is there's some sort of weird deformity that people will try to explain in a way that makes sense to explain, and then that will get taken literally, and they'll assume it's literal because they saw it and they're like, oh, that looks like antlers, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does from afar. They really do look like antlers. And, you know, it's too bad for the rabbits because, you know, if rabbits actually had antlers, that would be really helpful for them against predatory birds.
Yeah. Didn't Seth Rogen star in an alien movie called Paul? Yeah, he did.
Wait, was he?
Yeah, he was Paul.
Oh, Seth Rogen was Paul. Okay.
Yeah. Nick Frost and Simon Pegg were the two human characters, and then Paul the alien was.
Because I was like, wait, he's not in that film. Like,
I remember I really liked that movie when I saw it. I don't know how well it would hold up watching it now, though. You know what I mean?
I like Paul, me personally. I've heard specifically Mahler say pretty bad things about Paul.
Yeah. I mean, it basically is just a bunch of references to sci-fi movies. Yeah. But, like, I enjoy reference humor sometimes. Like, I know it's, like, the lowest brow humor. I enjoy it, though. I don't think reference humor is inherently bad.
Yeah. I mean, and it also fit the story. Like, yeah. The references fit the story because, like, when Paul the alien references E.T.,
mm-hmm.
E.T. is a movie that actually exists in the world, and it exists to an extent that he knows it because his existence is what made that movie happen.
I remember it drove me nuts when I watched Paul with my brothers, and I was the only one who got the reference when Simon Pegg shoots the radio and says, "Boring conversation anyway." No one else got that was a Han Solo reference, and I'm like, it's when he's in the brig and he's like, "We're fine. How are you?" And it's like word for word, almost the same conversation too.
Yeah, that is annoying. How did nobody else in your family notice that?
Yeah, because I was watching it with I think Kyler and Danny and Trevor, and I'm like, I laughed, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Did you not get the reference?" And then I had to explain it, which is always annoying.
Mm-hmm. And it makes sense coming from him because he's a fucking nerd. They were literally at a convention where did they like run into a Chewie at that convention? Probably.
It's been years since I've seen the movie. The last time I saw it was when I originally bought the DVD. I think I've only watched it the one time. Because I remember, I bought it because I had just watched through the Cornetto trilogy for the first time. And then it had Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in it, and I'm like, well, I liked these guys in the Cornetto trilogy, so I want to watch this.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Cornetto trilogy is better, but...
No, Paul is best fiction, peak fiction.
No, I think The World's End is like my favorite movie with those guys in it.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost actually did contribute to the writing to that a little bit.
What, to The World's End?
No, to Paul.
Oh, okay. I did. I think I knew that. I can't remember.
Anyways, the tangent about Paul.
Yeah.
Another thing I could talk about before we get to the title, the stream's namesake.
Mm-hmm.
Is about the Hopkinsville goblins.
Oh yeah, no, that's a cool story. Shrouded Hand did a pretty good video on those as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. If you guys ever want to watch Shrouded Hand is one of my top 10 favorite YouTube channels. He does true crime, he does historical torture methods, particularly brutal cases he'll talk about. And he'll talk about it in detail without sugarcoating it. Which is one thing I like, because a lot of channels will sugarcoat it. But he'll do a video talking about Albert Fish and go into as much detail as that is known about his killings. Or he'll talk about, Junko Furuta and go into, graphic detail with that, too.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Shrouded Hand? Hang on, I'm going to look this guy up.
Yeah, he's great. He's, like I said...
I'm sick and tired of people bringing this shit up, and then they don't go into detail as to what the fuck happened. They just it was really bad.
Yeah.
Very, very, very sad time.
Shrouded Hand has actually commented on one of my videos once as well, which made me pretty happy.
Yeah, it was after you shouted him out, right?
Yeah.
Alright, Shrouded.
Yeah, two of my top 10 favorite YouTubers have commented on my videos. Shrouded Hand and Kenny Lauderdale.
Shrouded Hand.
Yeah.
I'm just letting Google do it.
Yeah, and his
You didn't do it.
his channel icon is a melting red face. But no, he's great. But in addition to doing true crime and stuff like that, he'll also do cryptids, folklore, sightings of stuff, and supposed encounters, things he does a variety of stuff that's vaguely horror and stuff like that.
And he does not have a lot of subscribers for those horror channels, I think. Right?
I don't remember how many
600K really isn't that much for the horror people, right?
Maybe not. But to be fair, the algorithm probably doesn't promote him because he doesn't sugarcoat it.
Yeah. No, I watch a lot of horror stuff, and I've nenever seen any of his videos.
Oh, speaking of, I saw Wendy Goon recently did a video on Unit 731, so I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's a pretty good video.
Because, to be fair, I'm pretty familiar with Unit 731. I mean, Chisu jokes about it all the time in my chat, too. So I am familiar with Unit 731, but I want to see his video on it, because it probably goes into a lot of detail that I'm not familiar with, you know what I mean? Because most of my knowledge goes into stuff I've heard, and a review someone did on a movie about it called Men Behind the Sun.
Yeah, so apparently, like, a lot of the stuff that Windigoon knew about, because like he knew about this stuff like well before he did a video on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he went into detail about it, like to actually make a video on it,
He
he's
found
like,
out so much more.
"Wow, they don't go into this as much as like all this other stuff."
Yeah. How many subs does Shrouded Hand have? Well, Spencer just said he has like 600,000.
He's almost at 7.
Oh, okay.
700.
I mean, that's not bad. Like, horror channels,
Yeah.
like, there are a lot of bigger horror channels, but... Personally,
Yeah.
Shrouded Hand is my favorite horror channel.
Yeah, especially like horror, true crime stuff. They get big very fast because white women like that stuff.
It's true. You know another one I actually just started... You know another one I just started watching tonight that I was actually watching before we hopped on and did this?
Yeah.
You ever heard of Kyoto Roboto?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he has like 80,000 subscribers. I just started watching him today. Because I found his video about the Coca-Cola poisoner. Which was never caught.
That one.
Yeah. Well,
that's... Definitely... was it in Japan?
Yes.
And they were poisoning vending... like.
No, not vending machines. The vending machine poisoner was a different guy.
Oh, okay, because I've... Okay.
No, the Coca-Cola poisoner would put cyanide in glass bottles of Coca-Cola, reseal them, and then leave them in phone booth boxes for people to take.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I've heard of that one.
But let's see. Did you want to talk about the Hopkinsville Goblins?
Yeah.
All right.
Fucking love these little
I
guys.
keep going off on tangents, plugging Shrouded Hand because he's great.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we would plug other YouTubers that talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's.
I'll let you take the lead because you're probably better at telling it than me because I'm not as like I've seen videos on it, but I haven't retained a ton of info on it. Like I know they were these little goblin things that like looked like they were like metallic and like floated.
Do you want to pull up a picture of them for the stream?
Yeah. Do I want to get one that's more like metallic looking, like they're said to look?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know a lot of things don't actually show them like they were described.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys are at all familiar with Sableye from Pokemon,
That a good one, you think, or?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, let me just.
I like how there's a bunch of Sableyes too.
Yeah.
So Sableye is actually based, like it's like design is based.
Sableye is based.
Yeah. It's based off of this Hopkinsville goblins, right? So what happened was there was a family of people. So when exactly did this happen? I know this happened like a long time ago. Like landlines were still a thing. I don't think cell phones were a thing when the Hopkinsville goblins thing happened. So yeah, there was this family. They were out in their grandmother's house, like the grandmother of the family. They were just having a good time. There were some friends there, friends of the family, not friends of specific members, right? And they were just out there having a good time. And at one point, I think it was one of the younger sons of the grandmother, not like one of the children, goes outside to use the outhouse. And as he's out there, he sees this cylinder thing. It says the stream is paused, by the way, on my end. I don't know if
It's not going to be on Rumble.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the stream that you're showing me.
It shouldn't now.
Okay, cool. So he sees like the cylinder in the sky, and it's streaking through the sky, and just has like rainbows behind it. Oh, I love how you found the one that also has like the size comparison. Yeah, it was just streaking through the sky, leaving behind a rainbow. And he was like, "Holy shit, that's weird." And when he goes inside after using the outhouse and tells everyone about it, they're just like, he was every adult there is drinking, right? So they're just like, oh, whatever, man. You're just making shit up, right?
Uh-huh.
And then at some point, another person leaves to go, because I think like smoking was not allowed in the house by the grandmother. Either that, or he was going to get water. It was one of the two things. Either he was smoking outside, or he left to go get water. And it was a different member. And he leaves the house to either get water from the well or smoke. I don't remember which one. And he sees one of these things. Like he just sees like the eyes would glow. By the way, everyone.
Yeah, that's why they're glowing in the picture.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell they're glowing. They're like yellow glowing eyes.
Yeah, he sees one of these, just looking at him from the tree line, and, he just sort of goes back inside. Like, he doesn't say anything. He just goes back inside. He's like, yeah, okay, that's it for me. And apparently he just decided not to say anything to everybody, like, at all. Oh, I guess something else to bring up. So the first sighting, when it's streaking through the sky, it crashes into the woods. Like, when it's streaking through the sky leaving a rainbow behind, it crashes into the woods. That's next to the house. Yeah, so he just goes inside, and like nobody he didn't tell anyone about this in the family. He just sort of like just did it. I guess, he just decided to keep that to himself and be like, maybe if we just ignore it, it'll go away, right? And as they're inside continuing, I think they were continuing a poker game. They then hear the dogs barking outside. It was a farmhouse. They had a bunch of dogs, for shepherding and stuff like that, right? They hear the dogs like going absolutely nuts. And when a bunch of the adults of the family, like the strapping young males, go out with guns as well, like they go out there with shotguns and stuff, to go see what's up. Like they were probably just thinking coyotes or something like that, right? They get to the dog's cage. Nothing is there. Nothing is there whatsoever. And when they open up the cage, the dog just cowers to the end. Like it just goes to the other side of the cage and just cowers there. And it isn't until one of the men step in where it just immediately bolts out and it just runs away to under the house. And as they go to the house, one of them is like at the door, trying to see if they could coerce the dog, and suddenly one of the brothers who's right next to him sees a little metallic hand reaching down for his brother's head. And he freaks out like, what the fuck? Looks up and sees one of these things on the roof reaching down at him. And he just shoots it. He just shoots it immediately. And when he does, it makes like a metal tink sound, like it tink. And it does physically knock the thing over. As a matter of fact, it falls off the roof, but it just gets right back up like nothing even happened. And then, he fires at it again, and it falls over again, and it gets back up, and it just scuttles away. It just gets out of there, right? I don't remember what they did with the dog. I don't think that was ever brought up in any of the stories. I think they just all ran inside after, they started getting seemingly attacked. And when they would look outside at the tree line, they would just see a bunch of these just all over the place, and they were float. They wouldn't walk or anything like that. I guess it's also worth noting that when this thing fell off the roof, it like floated down. It didn't fall off. Yeah, it would just float down. According to, their stories, obviously.
Right.
And then they proceeded to, like, these things would constantly like poke their heads out like at the windows, like little gremlins, right? Like they were just doing a bunch of like gremlin prank kind of things, and they would just keep getting shot at, fall over, seemingly take no actual physical damage, but they would still be knocked back by shotgun shells, right?
That wasn't very civilized, was it? Fun, maybe.
Yeah, they just keep getting knocked over, but they just get back up like they're not hurt at all. And this shootout took hours, by the way. I also would like to make it clear that there were children in the house as well, because there were children of, the grandma's children. Obviously, considering that she's referred to as a grandma.
Right.
And then at one point, they finally, coast is clear. They get everyone in, they pack everyone into the cars, and they just go to the cops and, tell this story, right? And the cops go back to the house to, look for evidence and stuff like that. And they see clearly a bunch of spent shells. Clearly a shootout did happen. A one-sided shootout did happen. And they went into the forest, and if I remember correctly, I think a group of police officers did actually find this cylinder that flew through the sky. But it had no opening or anything like that. So these cops, they don't know what this is, right? So they leave, and when eventually they come back, it's gone. It's just not there anymore. And so, they go back to the station, file the paperwork and stuff like that, right? By the way, Angelo, did you ever hear anything like that?
Hear anything like what?
About the cops finding the
cylinder? I don't remember.
Okay.
That sounds right, but I don't want to commit to it 100%. You know what I mean?
All right, cool. But the fact that you say that sounds right, it gives me some.
Yeah, that sounds right. Like they found it and left it, and then it was gone.
And then when they went back, it was gone. Yeah, I was just trying to think because that's definitely something I've heard before. I
don't know if it's from this story or another one, but it sounds right. Although it could also be from the last time you recapped this story for me, because I'd heard it before, but it'd been a while, and then you just kind of recapped it to me like you're doing now. So
I'm pretty sure it's connected to this story.
I think it is too. Like I said, I have watched Shrouded Hands video on it, and I think I've seen other videos on it before too.
So yeah, they go there. So they go back to the station, fill out the report and stuff like that, and then eventually all these people go back to the grandma's house, and try to settle in for the night. Actually have some peace, right? And one of the kids, that was a kid at this time, she's still alive to this day, and she's one of two people from this incident that are still alive to this day.
Mm-hmm.
She's lying down in her bed, and when she looks out in her window, she just sees this face just staring at her in her window. Which, by the way, those two kids maintain that this is the most accurate picture of them, what they actually look like, right?
Right.
Yeah, she sees this face and she just screams, and her dad comes into the room, sees that thing, and just shoots it, and it scuttles away, right? And from what I remember, that is the last sighting of... that was the last sighting of the night. They all ran away and left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why I like this story and choose to believe it is because... And this is something that's brought up as a criticism as well of the story as to why it's not real. These aliens acted so realistically compared to all other alien kind of stories that you hear.
I like that they were indestructible.
Yeah. Well, something I like to think about is because there's a tinking of metal. What if this is their spacesuits?
Right.
their spacesuits, handle space. They could also handle a shotgun. That's the reason why they would get knocked over, because they would still feel the force of the shotgun hitting, but it wouldn't damage their suits.
Right.
And so, like, I genuinely think that when they kept getting shot at, and, they would be forcefully moved back, but they wouldn't get physically hurt. So they probably never thought of it as a threat, which is why they never would have pulled out any of their own weapons and started attacking back.
Yeah. I like how their hands look like sporks.
Yeah. So let me just make this clear as to how realistic it is because this is probably the first time these aliens have ever been on Earth, right? As a matter of fact, they probably landed here by accident. It's entirely possible that they didn't mean to, that they crash landed, right? And some of them come out and they observe the current life forms. One of them hangs out in the forest and sees one of the life forms outside of a house, and they're like, pretty interesting, right? They go and get their buddies, and then they all come over to, investigate. Maybe even I don't know, maybe because they're looking at this thing and it's shaped like them. Like, it's got 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, right? And they're thinking, this thing is shaped like us. Maybe, we crash landed just now. Maybe they have something that we can use to fix our ship, right?
Okay.
So they come on over. Dog starts barking. They probably get spooked, right? They're like, oh shit, what is that? They've probably never seen a dog before. Don't even know what that is. But then when one of them sees, when one of them is hiding up on the roof and it sees, the ability to poke and prod at a person, it reaches its hands down to, figure out what the response is, in which it gets shot, knocked over, and it scuttles away. And then the rest of them come by and they're like, yeah, we're not being hurt, and we're just going to keep, observing. We're just going to keep observing through the windows, because something that was said throughout their testimony of the shootout, none of them would even try to enter the house. None of them ever tried to enter the house. They would stay out of the house and just look inside and get shot at. So, and something else that's brought up that I, would like to bring up. So there was a lot of skepticism in the media about this story, because
obviously,
and something that was constantly brought up in the media is that it was the grandmother and a house of kids. Like, they were literally talking about 10-year-olds. Like, the media would describe it as everyone but the grandmother was no older than 14.
Which is just not true, because there were men there.
Yeah,
men.
It's not true whatsoever. They would lie through omission, because they would say a grandmother and her and a bunch of kids, because technically they are the grandmother's kids, right?
Yeah.
Or grandmother's grandkids, right? Yeah, and that's how the story would constantly spin. But something that is worth noting, and the cops even bring this up, the cops that were here at the time, is that these people were what were referred to at the time as carnies, which would mean they are to themselves. They don't want to interact with police under any circumstances, which would explain why they stayed at their house for hours at a shootout.
Right.
They literally were at a shootout for hours. If these were people that were okay with interacting with the police, they probably would have left much sooner.
Yeah.
And the kids that are still, the people that were kids at the time that are still alive to this day, the 2 people that are still left, they don't like to talk about this incident. They were traumatized by this incident.
Yeah, I would imagine.
They don't... And, that's something that happens all the time with sightings, is that, people tend to think, oh, I'm so lucky that I'm the guy who gets to tell this story, that I'm the guy who saw this and stuff like that. But no, these
right.
kids...
And obviously if it was fake, it'd be like a game to them.
Uh-huh. And again, like I said, I just think the aliens act so realistically in this in this thing, right? Like, and then like even the fact that the cops found their spaceship and they moved it as soon as the cops left. They're like, yeah, we gotta move this out of here because our spaceship has been discovered.
Right.
Because they were still there, because timeline wise, when the cops went back to go find the thing and it was gone, this took place hours before the kid last saw the one in the windowsill.
Right.
So obviously they didn't leave, they moved it. Presuming that what they found was the same cylinder that they rode in on.
Right. Dang, these aliens are from the hood? What?
Because they got in an hour-long shootout.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get you.
They never shot back, but, I personally like to think that the one that came back was, like, a teenager and was just, like, he was going against, like, his orders. He was like, hey, I want to go see the aliens again, because obviously we would be aliens to them.
Yes. Well, to us, you're the aliens. Spooky, you crazy.
So he runs on over, he sees the kid, and he's like, wow, look at that kid sleeping. And the kid wakes up and is like, ah!
I thought Shrouded Hand did a video on Hopkinsville goblins, but I'm not seeing one.
Weird. It was deleted by the algorithm.
No, I don't think so. But maybe. I guess it's possible. Huh.
Yeah, then
either way, any excuse I have to plug Shrouded Hand, I will. So even if he didn't, there you go.
I mean, you talked about the Fuko...
Junko Furuta?
Junko
Furuta, yeah.
Junko Furuta.
Furuta. Yeah, he did a video on her that goes into the most detail out of any other video I've seen on it.
Yeah, that's real.
Yep.
Anyways, anything you want to say about the Hopkinsville goblins?
I think it's a fun story. I like the idea of aliens just kind of floating around, just being like little trolls, like just being like, hey, then they get shot, and they're like, okay. And then they just shrug it off.
Yeah, they just like, yeah, whatever. This didn't hurt me. It knocked me back, but it didn't hurt me. Nah, I for one, I don't know if I necessarily believe it. I just choose to believe it because I think it's fun.
Right.
Unlike everything else that we're talking about today, like, well, specifically that I'm bringing up, is stuff that I actually firmly believe in. This is just something that I choose to believe in because I think it's fun.
You know, he may not have done a video on it, but I bet you he's mentioned them in passing in a different video or something, because I know I've heard him talk about it briefly.
Maybe. Just have to watch all of his videos and find out.
Well, I can't find it even by actively trying to search for it, but it's fine. I mean,
like, you have to watch all of his videos to find out if he mentions them in passing.
Right. Like I said, whatever. I'll take any excuse to plug Shrouded Hand. He's great.
Like, how many videos does he have?
I don't know.
287. That's not too much.
Yeah, I mean, compared to my over 2,000.
What'd you do for your thousandth video?
I don't think I did anything special.
Wow, what a loser.
Wow, what a loser. Again, nothing.
What?
There you go. There's a deformed AI Freddy Krueger.
I can't see it because it says stream pause, fugitive minimize the screen or something like that.
That's because I had to go into the OBS to pull it up.
Oh, okay.
Besides, there is a delay, so you wouldn't have seen it right away. It's on there now, but I'm still removing the goblin. There we go. See?
Why would you remove the goblin? Oh, I guess I guess that means we're done with it then.
I mean, if you have more to say about it, fine. I
don't have more to say. I just wanted you to bring up, like, if anything.
I think it's a fun story. I like the idea. I agree with your assessment for the most part. I don't know if it's actually true or not, but it's a fun one to say that it is.
The assessment that they actually act pretty realistically.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
I ever show you that ghost video of that little girl that I think, like, is really convincing because of her just, like, sheer terror?
Maybe. Yeah, the one where she
She looks over in a corner and then starts like screaming and crying, and then her like
screaming.
sister does the same thing.
Yeah.
And then the mom just like pulls them both away from it.
Do you wanna show it?
Yeah, I can see if I can find it. Hang on. Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch! Look at what comes up.
What?
Can you not? Girl, get her cheeks clapped on live.
What the fuck? On live.
I don't know what else to look up, so I'm just gonna type in the description of it, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to find a ghost sighting video as well while you're doing that. It might be in my likes. Hang on, I'm gonna look through my likes. You'll find it. I believe in you.
I found it before to show you. I just don't remember what I looked up, you know?
I wish I could help.
Alright, tell you what, I have to run to the...
Gets clapped.
Yeah. Tell you what, I have to run to the restroom. You want to keep the stream entertained for a minute?
Yeah, I could do that. Shit. Why didn't I fucking have it remember? Oh, I was gonna read Chuck Tingle next time I was in charge of the stream, but I don't have it up.
You can talk about other cryptid stuff or aliens or something. I don't know. You can keep it relevant or you can mix it up. I don't really give a shit.
Okay.
Do whatever you want. I don't care. Just
I will do whatever I want.
All right. Well, I'll be back.
So I assume Ree is still here. Hello, Ree. Also, hi YouTube in the future. Any of the comments watching that, please feel free to, in the future when this is on YouTube, put down in the comments your fun stories about cryptids or anything like that, because I guarantee that I will read them. And also, I'm like actually interested. Because big fan of cryptid stuff. Hey, Spence. Did you really say my name without an R? Do you really think we're that close, dude? I'm just messing around. It's fine. Spencer give me your list of the... I'm sorry, it's just really grainy. I'm having a hard time reading. Spencer, give me your list of the top... Is that 10 hottest aliens out there? Oh, okay, I could do that. Alright, so I think number 10 would have to be the Grub from Gears of War. I know that they're not aliens in their world, but they are on a different planet called Sarah. So I think that falls under, aliens. As for what specific grub, locust. So I'm specifically talking about the grub. And then number 9 is the Jiralhanae from Halo. They're pretty big, hairy, unless they're not hairy, Halo 3. They look pretty good. We've never seen a female Jiralhanae in even the expanded lore, so that's fun. I'm assuming they are all beefy men. Number 8 would have to be what are they called? The Klingons? Yeah, that's what they are. The Klingons from Star Trek. They look, all fucked up in the face and pretty neat. God, I wish I've seen Mass Effect at this point so I could fucking throw those in. Number 7 has to be the Namekians from Dragon Ball. You know, green antennae, stretchy limbs that they seem to forget about all the time. Unless it's a movie, then they remember. Also, they can regrow their limbs. That's pretty neat too. They also don't need to eat, so you don't need to feed them when you know, if you got one living with you, you don't have to spend money on feeding both of you guys. They only need water, and also don't have penises. That's a plus right there. They all look like men, but they don't have penises because they reproduce by spitting eggs out of their mouth. Which can't say for any of the other aliens on this list. Wait, which number am I on? Remind me, which number am I on? Was that number 7? Or was that number 6? Man, normally you're so fast at remember. All right, so what was my list so far? Grub, Jiralhanae, Namekians. Was that it so far?
Probably.
All right, so
I was listening to
6.
it, by the way, because you know, I was curious, so I pulled up Rumble on my phone while I was taking a shit. So there you go.
So number 6.
You said the Klingons. You said Klingons as well.
Klingons. So yeah, okay. So number 6 was wait, yeah.
Do you really want to keep?
That's 10, 9, 8, and 7. Okay, so then number 5. Do the flood count? Because if they do, those pure forms.
Dude, that spider scared the bejesus out of me.
They can be whatever you want.
There's a daddy longleg that ran across my desk. Scared the hell out of me.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. I tried to squish him, but he got away.
Yeah, they can be whatever you want. So I think, you know,
got him.
That's pretty up there. Need I say more? Honestly, number 5.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Shut up. Why you gotta fucking spoil number 1? Okay. Number 5 is the Gungans. Very funny individuals. Jar
Misa gonna die! Misa on the way!
You know...
And then how Jar Jar's dad tries to blow his brains out because his son is annoying.
What the fuck? That never happened.
It did!
No, it didn't.
Yes, hold the fuck on. Hold on. George R. Binks. Yes, it fucking did.
What the fuck?
Here's the actual comic. No, George, don't do it. We can get off this island somehow. We have so much to live for. Think of our son. And that's when he pulls the trigger, but he misses.
Alright, so then number 4, the Ungoi. Big fans of them. They're little funny guys.
I guess I should put that up, shouldn't I? George R. Binks trying to kill himself.
Yeah, you're literally talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Ungoi, they're little funny guys. I like them.
I like how he's choking Jar Jar here, too. You idiot!
Wait, so that was number 4, right?
Probably.
Alright, so number 3, sorry, what are they called from the 40K? They start with a K. They're pretty much like the equivalent of, they're a hive mind, I remember. I can't remember exactly what they're called at this point. But they're a hive mind. Their whole purpose is to kill, reproduce, fancy stuff. They're a whole faction in 40K. They're pretty cool. Whenever I play 40K, I tend to choose that faction. I just, I sound like a fake fan right now because I can't remember the fucking name. And then number 2, pretty obvious, elites. Sangeli. Like, come on. But some of my favorite characters in all of fiction are Sangeli. So it's pretty obvious that I would, make this choice. And then finally, number 1, John Carpenter's The Thing. It can be whatever you want. It could be human. That would be awesome to, have sexual intercourse with. And then you'll become one, too. Isn't that great?
All right, well, that was a hell of a thing.
Well, let's hear your top 10 hottest aliens.
I refuse.
Wow, what a loser. Let it be known, chat. I actually have a top 10 hottest aliens, and he doesn't.
Yes.
What a loser.
I think that speaks volumes to the differences in our personalities. What's this one? I think it's a Larry the Cucumber, right? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, on this word, a cucumber.
Yeah, I'm looking through my likes. That video might have been deleted. Oh well. The video that I wanted to show you of real sighting of ghost.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to be looking for one, wasn't I?
The most convincing video I've ever fucking seen, man.
Little girl screams. Ghost. Huh. How did I find it that one time?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. I think you, remember where you saw, the channel of the name of the channel of the video you saw it on, and you just looked up the channel?
That doesn't sound right, though. Just gonna look through my likes, I guess, real quick. There's a lot more. I probably have more likes than you, though.
Did you like it?
Maybe. I've liked 3,348 videos, though, so good luck, right?
Yeah, fucking 800 for me.
Here's one. The Hidden Truth About Sammy Park, Y2K Analysis Part 1. There's one.
You mind telling me what you're doing on that wall is one of the things in my likes.
Of course, sir.
Why is your Undertale stream 4.5 in my likes?
I don't know.
It's the only video that I have of yours that's in my likes.
Okay.
Nope, Poppycorn is in my likes as well.
Poppycorn. Girl gets scared by ghost in house. Mom takes her away.
You just described the whole video. What happens? Spoilers, by the way.
I want to find it because it's the most convincing one for me. Because she gets fucking horrified.
Yeah, I want you to find it too. I sent you a video that you could show
most
to the internet.
convincing ghost video.
There you go. Probably be it.
First, okay, that's Ghost Advent. That's Ghost Hunters. I remember that show. I don't remember where I saw it before. Because I used to watch all sorts of... Hold on. Ghost Caught on Tape. I used to look this shit up all the time, and it was probably in one of these, compilations. Let's just See, it'd be older than a year, though. Let's just see if we can find an older one. Let's try this one. This looks like shit, but... That's the Daily Mail, so it's probably not this one, but... Let's just... Scrub, right? If by some fucking miracle it's... No, it's not. What the hell did you send me?
The video that
This?
I'm typing in. Yeah.
That doesn't look like it's going to be ghost related.
It's not ghost related, but
Yeah,
the
I
whole
didn't think
internet
so.
can see this.
I think you've showed me that before, right?
Yeah, I've shown it to you before, but
Okay.
you can show it to your audience. I hate the fact that it wasn't in my likes. I scoured my whole likes. I couldn't find it. So I'm looking up the title of the video word for word, and it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this shit.
It either got taken down or YouTube's algorithms being shit. Because sometimes videos will still be up and you can't find them even by looking it up word for word.
Yeah, I know. Well, going to fucking just Google itself. I'm going to type it in. Because sometimes, you know, if you can't find it on YouTube, you could find it on Reddit.
Yeah, if we don't find it, we don't find it. Because I think I spent a while looking for it when we found it the first time, didn't I?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, is this it? Hold on. This can't be it, right? This is it!
Yeah, that's it. That's definitely it.
Alright, this is from a... I think I actually saw this when I was looking it up earlier. I just didn't think it was the right one, but it absolutely is. Alright, let's add a window capture real quick. So this video, I genuinely think, like, the kid's reaction is, like, too real for me.
Yeah, and kid actors tend to be pretty bad.
What?
I hate the effects this guy added, but...
Yeah, the effects that you just saw is not real for the real
I
video.
just turned off the lights, that's all.
The mother remains calm,
Oh god, he's got commentary on it, gay.
questioning her daughter as to why she is scared, but she receives no answer. The younger daughter
I
looks
can't
back,
hear it, by the way.
doesn't
Okay, well, too bad. Because I don't really have a way to fix that unless I do this, maybe. Can you hear it now?
see anything, and then laughs
No,
at
I
how her
can't.
big
It doesn't
sister
matter that much. I've
Yeah.
seen it before.
is seemingly scared of nothing.
What was that?
When does she get freaked out? Because another kid looks over and then she starts screaming. Like right now she's just playing, but...
What are you doing? Oh, what, Nani? Look at me. What are you scared of? The fish? Oh, the fish died.
What?
Angel's sleeping already. It's raining, girls.
This is longer than the clip I usually watch, so this is like a full context or something. And see, now this one's... She's crying. That cry seems real to me.
Look at me. Look at me.
That is, until the younger girl takes a second look, and suddenly she also sees whatever frightened her older sister. Her reaction is pure terror.
Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. But you gotta listen to me. Turn around. Look at me.
Wait, this might be the... I might have found it on Facebook. What I'm
Yeah,
looking
see,
for.
that's genuine fear. That's genuine fear.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me that's convincing.
Very convincing.
Yes, very.
Okay, well, I thought I saw what I was looking for on Facebook, but I did not find it. I thought I typed in the whole title. All I remember for sure is that the end of the title it's in parentheses, warning 18 plus.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. That's it.
Weird that you couldn't hear it, though.
Yeah, weird. What if I couldn't hear it because I muted?
Could be.
Because I muted your thing?
That's probably true, yeah. Is that what happened?
I'm checking. No.
Hmm.
I did not do that.
This is more real than any Daddy of 5 video, yeah? I can't think of top 10 aliens, but I'll give you top 5. The entirety of Mexico from Breaking Bad. Larry the Cucumber, Paul the Alien, Roger from American Dad, and John Carpenter's The Thing. I shouldn't have included from Breaking Bad there, but no, that was the funniest part, Ray, because Alien has a different context there. That was funny. Don't sell yourself short. All right. Do we want to just hit the Mothman thing now, or?
Sure. Unless you got something to bring up.
I mean,
like any cryptid-related thing that I talked about before that you could think of.
Not right off. I mean, I know that you're pretty obsessed with skinwalkers.
Yes, I am.
To the point where you genuinely get paranoid about them sometimes.
I do.
There's a guy I worked with at McDonald's that was... I'll tell you this, because you know this one. There's a guy I worked with at McDonald's who was he was actually an ex-convict. He worked a night shift with me. He was a pretty cool guy, actually. But he was so afraid of skinwalkers, he was afraid to say the word skinwalker.
Which makes sense.
He would refer to them as SWs. But didn't you say the whole point is it's just the fact that he's thinking of them is already enough? It doesn't matter if he's saying the name at that point?
Exactly. So the reason why it's scary to actually talk about skinwalkers, and the reason why I see why this guy is scared, which, by the way, I've explained this to you, but I mainly just...
Yeah, obviously.
Is because skinwalkers know when you're thinking about them. The reason why... when you talk to Native Americans about skinwalkers, when you try to talk about them, the reason why they don't say anything about them is because they firmly believe that first of all, they firmly believe in skinwalkers, and then secondly, that if you're talking about them, they know. They simply just know, and then that makes them prioritize you for their hunts more often, that makes them more likely to prioritize you.
I know that as people started believing in Slender Man, they started applying that to him as well.
So yeah, simply thinking about skinwalkers is enough for them to be all like, "Yep, we don't like you." So I understand why he would be afraid of saying the name and refer to them as SWs. But the thing is that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Well, because he referred to them as SWs once, and I'm like, what? Because we were talking about fears, and he said, oh yeah, for me it's always got to be the SWs. I'm like, what's an SW? And then he was reluctant. He's like, well, I'm not going to say it because it's a bad... I'm like, what? And then I said skinwalkers, and because I just guessed. And that kind of freaked me. He's like, yeah, but shut up.
And that's the reason why I don't talk about them a whole lot, is because if they're real, I don't want to talk about them a whole lot.
I mean, by that logic, the evil thing from the Haunting Hour, Don't Think About It, is the same logic.
Yeah, but that's definitely not real.
How do you know? How do you know R.L. Stine wasn't chronicling a real monster when he made that movie?
Because it's a fucking movie and he's alive.
How do you know Slender Man's not real?
Because it was a fake to begin with.
Obviously.
unless we want to go into Topas, because then it could be a real thing.
Yeah, there you
Topas.
go. Yeah, Topas, yeah.
The reason why Slender Man was real for a little bit there is because everyone firmly believed he was.
And then those girls, stabbed another girl.
Yeah. You know, I fucking hate the Slender movie because I just wish I had control over it, me personally.
Yeah.
Because what I would have done is I would have played into that shit. I would have been like, yes, I would have told the story of everyone's talking about Slender. Everyone's obsessed with Slender. And I would have played into the cult aspects where the horror isn't actually the Slender Man being real and hunting people. These people who firmly believe Slender Man killing on his behalf. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I would have done that. And then at the end of the movie, actually have Slenderman show up.
Yeah, there you go.
Turns out he was real the whole time.
That's actually not a bad idea.
That's what I would have done that with.
You know, there are a bunch of like independent Slender movies that were made before that one, though.
Yeah, I fucking love Marble Hornets. Marble Hornets is amazing.
There was another one called Wendigo, which they misspelled Wendigo. And they tried to say that Slender Man was a Wendigo.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Are you at all familiar with Marble Hornets?
I know of it. I think I've seen clips of it. I know it was like an ARG sort of thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Fucking, it is just so good. A lot of the real-life footage of Slenderman that you would see, like in those videos, are actually clips from Marble Hornets.
Yeah.
Marble Hornets is really good. It is so fucking good, man. It's like, I think that's the first ARG I ever did, before I even knew ARGs were a thing.
Yeah. You know what? When I was first getting into creepypastas, I didn't really know a whole lot about them. Because when I first heard of Slender Man, it was in like my sophomore year of high school, I think. It might have been my junior year. It was either my sophomore or my junior year. Either 10th or 11th grade.
ARGs or creepypastas?
Creepypastas.
Oh, okay.
Because it's related to Slender Man. So, like, when I first heard of Slender Man, I had this classmate who was telling me about it, and he said it was like an urban legend, and he believed it was real. And then that made me interested, and I started looking into it. I wasn't looking into the creepypasta. I was watching all these supposed mythology videos on it, which are obviously just bullshit made up for the creepypasta.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that at the time, though, until I looked into it and saw that it was first made up as like a contest for Something Awful forums.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know what was also like bullshit was when Siren Head first started going around, and then like These Myths did a video on it as a real life myth, and made no mention of the fact that it was just a thing made by this artist.
Yeah. People chasing the clout, man. That's the way it is.
These Myths is a horror channel I used to watch a lot, but again, he's not credible at all. I love his YouTube intro. Have I ever showed you These Myths' YouTube intro?
I don't think so.
It's fucking horrifying. Hold on. Like, I still think to this day, it's fucking great.
Is sound necessary?
It does add to the experience.
Okay, so I think what I'll do is close the stream and come back.
Okay.
And maybe that'll give me the sound.
Okay.
Alright, click on something.
Is this the one? Hold on. Does it have his intro? Yeah, okay, this is one of his intros. Can you hear it?
No, I cannot.
You can't hear that?
Alright, so I think...
Hold on. I have an idea. I have an idea. Hold on. I'll just re-share the screen and see if that helps.
Oh, maybe.
Can you hear this?
The stream hasn't loaded yet, so wait. Oh, I can hear it. I can't see it, but I can hear it.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. Let me add a...
Attention, all videos in this chin.
Just to watch. His intro's great. I love his intro. And, like, the music adds to the atmosphere. That's why I'm like... I used to watch his channel all the time. Like, he's progressively had more different multiple intros over time, but I think this is his best one. See, I think it's a cool intro.
Yeah, that definitely is. I don't want to say anything during it because I didn't want to, like,
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool intro. I wonder if it was enhanced by the fact that I'm already kind of on edge because I've been talking about skinwalkers for a little bit.
Yeah. But the thing is, he actually, like, his newest intro is a lot less creepy because people kept complaining that one was too horrifying. Which I think is lame because I think that was his best intro.
Yeah. What a bunch of losers. I guess what I could tell before we get into the meat and potatoes, the namesake, it's not so much meat and potatoes, I could tell my skinwalker story.
Okay.
I don't know if I've told you this. I know I've definitely told people about it.
I don't know if you've told me a story with you of it. If you have, I either don't remember it or will remember it when you start getting into the details.
Yeah, maybe, because I think I actually do remember telling you this story. Alright, so, me and my dad, we were out hunting. Hunting in the mountains. I can't remember what mountain at this point. Although, all I know is, if you said the name, I'd probably remember because we've been to this mountain a lot for camping, right?
Okay.
And I want to make sure this is clear. This was when I was younger. I was fit, actually capable of, moving around and stuff.
Right. This is before you had this is before you had the Snorlax build.
Yeah, this is before I had the Snorlax build. Yeah, we were out hunting. And by the way, whenever we were hunting, I don't think I ever shot anything once.
Okay.
I was just there to have fun with my dad. Right? So we were out there hunting, and then at one point while we were hunting, suddenly we see this giant wolf. It was really close to us too. Like, it was just suddenly off to the left of us, really close, and it was snarling at us pretty hard. And I want to make sure this is very clear. Wolves are big.
Yeah.
This thing is huge.
Okay.
Compared to a wolf. And we gosh, I'm just getting chills down my spine just thinking about it. We start running from it because obviously this thing is clearly gonna fight us, right? I mean, we start backing away obviously pretty slowly, right? And when I very specifically, I already thought it was huge because I'm small at this time, but I remember seeing how big it was when my dad stand up after me, which he was closer to the wolf than I was, and me being able to see my dad in comparison to this wolf completely frightened me. Like, I was just completely frightened. But he said something that snapped me out of it, and I ran, and then he ran shortly after. And I remember very specifically hearing him say, "Climb a tree," because there's no way this wolf's gonna follow us up a tree, right? So I find the biggest, sturdiest tree I can and immediately start climbing up it. And my dad follows suit on a different tree that's close by. And while we're up there, I decide to look back because we're looking up, right? I decide to look back down on the wolf, right? And I don't see a wolf anymore. I see a person who is wearing wolf skin on their body. Like, they even have like the wolf head on their head, right?
Nice.
And they're just staring at me. They're just staring at me and my dad, and then they just walk away.
Very cool. Have you considered that it was just an anamorph?
Yeah, and then they just walk away, and then me and my dad, we climbed down, looked at each other, and we left. We stopped hunting that day, and we just left.
Just without a word?
We never talked about it again.
Nice.
Like, me and my dad never talked about that event for the entirety while he was still alive.
That's crazy. I have one that's a little less dramatic, but don't say the name of the city, but you know where I have my property out in the middle of the desert, like my family does.
Yeah.
There's this one time, because there's coyotes out there.
Yeah.
There's this one time we saw this like really big, like deformed looking coyote head or something poking out of one of the coyote dens. We never really got a good look at it because it just ducked right in, but it was like abnormally large and also looked really weird. I can't remember exactly how it looked, but it was really bizarre.
Yeah, I guess something to say about Skinwalker. And by the way, that area
Is not that far from a Skinwalker area.
Yeah. There's a lot of things about, when skinwalkers transform, how they don't transform correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is probably something to bring up about that giant wolf, because it was definitely way too big.
Because that area out there, like in the desert, there's a lot of skinwalker sightings near there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say a skinwalker area. It's not like an area owned by skinwalkers. Or is it?
The Native Americans would like to think so.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. A lot of their folklore creatures are very similar, like Wendigos, Skinwalkers, and Stick Indians are all very similar.
Yeah. But Gates are also similar to Skinwalkers, so how much can you say about that? And Gates are Irish.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that, maybe there is some sort of creature out there, and that's why there's similar folklore, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they're the same thing.
But it's something worth noting is that Skinwalker and Wendigo, it's two different rituals that make those
right,
happen.
But don't both of them attack you, like, when you're thinking of them?
No, not Wendigos.
Really?
No.
Okay. I think they kind of use that in the Wendigo movie, where they misspell it, make Slenderman a Wendigo. I think they use some Skinwalker lore with them.
Huh.
Well, I guess because, Slenderman has that Skinwalker thing put in where he's like, if you think about him, he'll get you.
That's not true, though. That's not a thing.
It's a thing in some versions of Slenderman.
What I know as a thing is that when he likes to play with his food, right? That he shows himself, they get all freaked out.
No, there was like a thing in some versions of the story where they say that if you're thinking about him, he's going to start hunting you, and if he wants to get you, he will get you.
Well, then don't think about him.
Yeah. Well, I'm 100% confident that Slenderman is a myth. Because he was created for a fucking art contest. Or no, it was a scary story contest.
Was it a scary story?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess so.
It was on Something Awful forums, yeah.
Have you seen... So, Tears of the Kingdom recently came out, right?
Uh-huh.
Hours after it came out, someone made a dick and balls.
Nice.
Like, it just came out. They learned that you could just create structures in the game, and so they made a dick and balls.
Dr. Dick and Balls says, please tell us about the cuck article you wrote.
Sincerely.
No. Basically, I'm not going to talk about this, and fuck you for bringing it up. Heartfelt, fuck you.
What a great guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good guy.
Real alpha energy, right? Dude, Jack Murphy's such a bitch.
It is pretty alpha to tell a girl, fuck you.
Yeah, but it's not alpha to do cuck stuff like he did.
Mm-hmm. He was mad because his reputation is being ruined by that.
By the Streisand effect, because he drew people to look into it by just saying that. He could have just simply said something like, oh, that was in the past, I did some weird stuff when I was younger, but it's all in the past now. If he'd have just said something like that, people probably wouldn't have looked into it as much.
Yeah, exactly. Probably that as well, but he probably didn't think about that because it would have been a lie to say it.
Right.
The fact that it was in the past and he doesn't believe it anymore.
Right, but the thing is if he was already lying, you'd think he could have just committed to it and done that lie.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta also remember, Jack Murphy ran a fucking, like, he had this, service that you would pay, $100 a month to join called the Liminal Order that was, a club that's supposed to teach you how to be, more masculine and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. That's the reason why I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that cuck article is how he actually thinks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been every time when I get a second, I keep trying to look up that ghost video, but I can't find it. So I'm done. I give up.
Okay.
I'm going to assume it's been scrubbed from the internet. 5 ever.
Yeah. You know, speaking of videos that were scrubbed from the internet, you know, back in the day on YouTube, you used to see like a bunch of cryptid and conspiracy videos that all used that song, Club to Death, that was in The Matrix. I don't know if you know the song. It's that one that goes do 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 do. Then it goes bum 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 bum. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then the copyright on that song started getting videos blocked, so all of those videos are gone now. Which sucks because that's a part of YouTube history where it would be a bunch of top 10 cryptids, and it would just be a bunch of very obviously fake pictures of cryptids put together in a movie maker slideshow, and it would play that song.
Yeah.
But there was this one with these two Mexican guys that were kids, right? They were teenagers, I think. And they had Nerf guns, and it's an alien caught on tape video, and they have one of their friends in an alien mask pop up in their room, and then it starts playing that song, and then they pull out their Nerf guns and start shooting it in a montage while it's playing that song.
Did they win?
Of course.
Fuck yeah.
But
Aliens are weak to Nerf guns.
But unfortunately that video doesn't exist anymore because of the copyright shit, and it's so sad to me because it was one of my favorite bait and switches because the thumbnail looked really convincing, but then you click on the video and it's just this guy in an alien mask standing in the middle of their room while they shoot him with Nerf guns.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and then I did a tribute to those videos on my second channel called a tribute to 2009 cryptid and conspiracy videos, and I originally used that song, but it got blocked worldwide. So then I changed it to the X-Files theme, and then it's still up on my second channel with the X-Files theme.
Oh my god, I just barely remembered something.
Okay.
Alright, so I saw a video pretty while ago.
Uh-huh.
It's a really good video. Highly recommend it to you. Now I know whenever I recommend videos to you, you just tend not to watch them because you're a little faggot.
No.
But I know that you'll like this video.
Okay.
Shit. I will just want to send it to you, but
Okay.
Fucking YouTube is taking forever. Has nothing to do with cryptids. However, would be pretty cool.
Okay.
You know, if you think about it in a cryptic kind of way.
Okay.
Okay, so the video it's about the flood, right?
Okay.
Just not even going to sugarcoat it. It's about the flood. Somebody. This is a thought experiment other people have done before, but I think this person's video is by far the best of it. The flood unleashed a modern-day apocalypse.
Okay.
That's the name of the video. I'm sending it to you on Discord, though, so you don't have to find it. It's barely under an hour long. Details of... It's not just a thought experiment as to how the world would react. He actually goes into detail and he makes his own story about how it would go and then narrates that story.
Okay.
It's a really good one. And it made me think man, they need to make a flood survival horror game. Of this plot?
I forget. Have you ever seen the Mona Lisa motion comic?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a Halo motion comic about a prison ship that gets overtaken by the flood.
No, I have not seen that one.
It's really good. It's official. It's not like a fan thing. It's an officially made thing by Bungie or 343. I can't remember which.
Okay.
It was before Halo 4 though. I think it was Bungie. I think it was one of the last things Bungie made. They did Bungie did a bunch of motion comics. They did The Midnight in the Heart of Midlothian. That one's pretty good too. And then they did.
I mean, it would make sense to me because fucking Bungie doesn't do anything. Sorry, 343 doesn't do anything with the flood.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's 11 minutes long or something like that. It's about a prison ship that gets overtaken by the flood. Honestly, when I read Death Troopers, the Star Wars book, the first time, it reminded me a lot of the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Because it's also on a prison ship with a zombie virus sort of thing.
something I like about this is that it actually pays like, so this is a story from the Flood invasion if the Flood literally just barely started out.
Okay.
Like, they weren't established or anything like that, like they are in Halo, because the Flood are pretty established at that point, right?
Yeah.
In Halo, like, and by that I mean, like, their faction is established. They have bodies, they have supercells, they have infection forms, stuff like that.
Well, to be fair though, in Halo 1, they're unleashed just as spores, and then they start taking over all the bodies around them. Like, it's just the infection forms, the little squid-looking ones that crawl out that initially, and then, like, the Covenant stupidly lets them out and take over their bodies.
Those are infection forms, though. Those aren't spores or supercells.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference. Spores and supercells are different, and they're never depicted in the games ever, because they weren't really using that stuff at the time because they were already established. We're talking about, like, Forerunner War.
Okay, because I always think of infection forms as being like the base Flood,
Yeah, they're not. And it actually, so, like, this video, so how the Flood first came into existence in Halo lore, right?
Yes, and I don't like it.
Okay, well, I think it's
fucking gay that it was people, like, using this weird, like, virus thing to try and make their pets more stylish, and that created the Flood.
I think it's funny because the Forerunners are that arrogant and would do that shit.
I hate that. I like the Flood being this mysterious cosmic horror that we don't know where the fuck it came from.
I mean, they still are a mysterious cosmic horror. We don't know where the cloud came from either. The cloud that they use to make their pets all cosmetic weird.
Yeah.
We don't know where that came from, so we still don't know where they came from. It's still cosmic horror.
I know Kyler was okay with that part of it, because the Primordial is 343 lore. It's not Bungie lore.
Yeah, I know.
So therefore, they did do something with the Flood. They gave him an origin.
Whoa. But he kind of pays homage to that. He doesn't do it just straight up, but he pays homage to it. In his story, the first thing to be affected by the Flood is a shepherd at a farm. Like, it's like, a shepherd dog at a farm. That's the first thing to get infected by the Flood in his version of the story. So,
okay,
he pays homage to that. I also think it's really fun starting out, and he also, he actually does, like, the starting out thing where the Flood, when they would infect people, they would not immediately start turning them and have attack. They would, like, sit there and lie dormant and wait till a bunch of people were infected and then start attacking. Because the Flood are smart. They would know that if they just immediately start attacking, when they have, like, 2 people infected at the most, they're just going to get wiped out. Like, especially since the first minds that they would affect would be human minds. And every human knows that nukes are a thing.
Right.
And if they're all in the same area, they're going to get nuked.
But yeah, do we want to get to Mothman now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to Mothman.
Okay. So let me start out a little bit, because we'll let you get to it, right?
Oh, yeah, go for it. Yeah, you tell the whole story, and then I'll bring in my theory.
So, Mothman, if you guys don't know, in the 60s, in a place, I think it was 1966 specifically, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know it was in the 60s. There was a place called Point Pleasant, Ohio. Well, it's like on the border of Ohio and West Virginia, I'm pretty sure. I think it's in West Virginia, but it's, like, right on the border.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of sightings of several different weird creatures or people. At least that's what people saw, right? I guess, hence the term sighting. UFOs, and a bunch of other weird shit, right? This guy named John Keel wrote a book on it called The Mothman Prophecies, which, really good book. I really enjoyed it. He theorized that Mothman was some sort of interdimensional traveler. Obviously, we already kind of spoiled with the title what you think Mothman was, but
is this going to be the title for YouTube, though?
I think so. I don't know. We'll see. probably.
Okay.
But anyway, so the Mothman. Mothman was only one of several things that were sighted around the town. Then they did a movie of the Mothman prophecies that sort of combined several encounters and also made it more demonic rather than alien. But effectively, after all these strange sightings started happening, people started talking about it, and then these weird agents of some sort called the Men in Black, which is actually where the movie Men in Black was based off of, was the concept of the Men in Black, would come and tell people to stop talking about it. There were these guys called Number 9 and Number 10 who came in and told people to stop talking about it. And all of them were described as having, olive-colored skin. And there's some...
Completely hairless.
Yeah, completely hairless.
Not even eyebrows or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, they looked really odd. And they didn't seem to grasp, normal human things. One of them, grabbed a pen, laughed at it maniacally, and ran out of a building with it.
You're going to say my two favorite ones? Can I say them real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my two favorite ones is lady invites these people in for tea, right? They knock at her door, she invites them in for tea. They say yes, and then they one of them, when given a cup of tea, they open up their briefcase, pour the tea into their briefcase, and close it, and then put the cup down. And then another one that I really liked is when one of them was I think it was either at a restaurant or just at someone's house eating steak. They would put a whole big, chunk of steak into their mouth and then just swallow it without chewing whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's my two.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
Then another really prominent figure that was told about was this character, this strange spaceman called Indrid Cold.
Also known as the Joker.
He looks a lot like the Joker, yeah. In fact, should I bring up a picture of Indrid Cold for this Mothman portion? Let's do that. Yeah,
go for it.
Because I remember when you said that, I was like, I don't know what you... And then I looked at the picture and I'm like, yeah, you are absolutely right.
Look at him, he's the Joker.
Yeah.
Look at that guy.
He looks like a happy guy.
He's just having a good time.
To be fair, this is more the image I was thinking. Even then, it's kind of Jokery.
Yeah.
But we'll do the one that looks really Jokery, just because.
Oh, do the realistic one looking one.
Which one?
Third row, second one.
This one?
Yeah. Do that one.
Okay.
I think that one looks the best. That's the reason why I say do that.
Okay. Yeah, Indrid Cold, I think there was only one person that spotted... No, wasn't there multiple people that spotted Indrid Cold?
There was multiple people.
Yeah, there's one...
It wasn't as much as Mothman, but there was multiple people.
I know that there was, one really famous encounter that was used for the movie adaptation. Hang on a second. I like to sing about the moon and the tuna and the springer.
Tuna and the springer. I like to sing There he
what
is that from?
Lots of things.
The one with the owl singing it.
It's an old Looney Tune, or maybe it's not Looney Tunes, but it's something similar to Looney Tunes. I think it might be Looney Tunes. Yeah.
I wish I remembered the plot of that.
It's the kid wants to sing it, but his dad doesn't want him to sing, and he's disappointed in him for it. And then at the end of it, the dad comes around and decides to let the kid chase his dream of singing.
Aw, how wholesome.
Oh no! The kid he wants the kid to sing, but he wants him to sing like gospel choir type stuff. But the kid wants to sing the more upbeat croony stuff. That's what it is. And the short actually ends with the dad and the kid both singing the "I Wanna Sing about the moon and the tuna." They both start singing it at the end. So.
Oh, how very, very wholesome.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Indrid Cold. He claimed to be from some far off galaxy. Said he was a spaceman. In the movie, they kind of imply that Indrid Cold is Mothman, which isn't necessarily implied with the actual sightings. Also, I guess
It's not even implied even a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But the movie kind of implies they're the same person. Have you ever seen the Mothman Prophecies movie?
No, I have not.
I enjoy it. So yeah, another thing is then the whole Mothman thing. Supposedly he would appear before something bad would happen, and this all culminated with the collapse of a bridge called the Silver Bridge that Mothman was allegedly sighted on nearby. So this led to a lot of people to saying that Mothman was either some sort of omen, like that was warning people about it, or that he actually caused the collapse.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of theories about. Go ahead.
I want to make this very clear because the way you said it sounded off.
Okay.
He wasn't first seen slightly before the thing happened. There was a lot of sightings of Mothman for like at least a month before it happened.
Right.
But all the sightings of Mothman stopped as soon as the bridge collapsed.
Correct. And then after the Silver Bridge collapse, there wasn't really any more prominent sightings of Mothman in that area. He's supposedly been sighted all over the world other than that, but for some reason Point Pleasant hasn't seen him since then.
Yeah, and also it's worth noting that the ones that the Mothman that is sighted in New York is theorized to be a different one because of how different they look.
Right.
Specifically only the one in New York, though.
Huh.
All the other places, it looks the same. It also is worth noting that the one that was in New York is the most recent sighting.
Oh, okay. They also have a statue of Mothman in Point Pleasant now. I'm going to put that up on screen.
Yeah, but it's based off of the Mothman prophecies, right? Not the actual sightings of the Mothman?
No, it's based off the sightings.
Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at what you have on screen right now. That doesn't look accurate to the actual
Well,
sightings.
the thing about the sightings is a lot of people say, oh, how are all these people saying the same thing? There were a lot of contradictions in the sightings, too. Like, people, like, they all describe very similar appearances, but, like, this is sort of an amalgamation of various different descriptions, because there were a lot of contradictions in the descriptions, too. The one
that makes sense.
The one constant was being that it was a humanoid winged creature with glowing red eyes. Although sometimes the eyes were yellow, but they were usually red.
All right, what do you have any more to say?
I think, what was it, 47 people died during the collapse of the Silver Bridge?
Yeah, a lot of people died from the bridge.
And in the
Very
movie,
sad.
they did this weird thing where they changed it to 37. But they had it so that the one lady survived in the movie because they put in this line where she says, "Wake up, number 37," and she was saved. So 36 died in the movie.
Ooh.
But I wonder if they changed it because they didn't want to say number 47 and then have like an issue with like Hitman or something. I don't know.
Did Hitman exist at that point?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
pretty sure. Let me see.
Oh, this is the movie, so this probably came out years after the actual Point Pleasant thing.
Yeah, obviously. Hitman came out in 2007. Mothman Prophecies movie 2002. So no. Okay, never mind.
So definitely wasn't that. Is 37 that?
Wait,
like,
hold on. Let me
magic
check.
number for like, fucking.
Hold on a second. The first Hitman game came out in 2000, so 2 years before the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I was about to ask, is 37 like that magic number that everyone fucking talks about with like the age that musicians die and stuff like that?
I don't know. I've never heard anything about that. The only thing I've heard about numbers is the number 23, you know?
Oh, it's probably 23 then.
But the number 23 is like a numerology thing. I don't know anything about musicians with it. But, like, people get obsessed with the number 23 and think that it's, like, cursed and, like, linked to a bunch of shit. Hence why there's that Jim Carrey movie, the movie, The Number 23, which, honestly, I like that movie. A lot of people hate that movie. I like it. Because it's like this movie where Jim Carrey's character finds like this journal that like the main character seems to like be him, and he's really confused by it. But then you find out a bunch of other stuff. There's a twist. It's a fun movie. I enjoy it. Anyway, that's all I think I have to say about Mothman. There's been multiple theories ranging from mass psychosis, LSD, large birds, government cover-ups and experiments, actual aliens.
The fucking large bird ones. So dumb.
Yeah. And it just wouldn't explain all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's been a ton of theories.
Yeah. Yeah, the large bird one very specifically. So apparently, like, there's this large rare bird that would apparently, if it was migrating, have been stuck in Point Pleasant for a bit. But it doesn't...
Wasn't it a whooping crane?
I think so.
Yeah.
But, like, its eyes don't glow red.
No, but there's, like, red on its face.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no reason why it would attack cars, though. Like, why it would, like, get close to cars and fly over them, which is a lot of the sightings, by the way, had to do with people in their cars and, like, the Mothman flying over them.
Yeah.
And something I would like to bring up, it's something I brought up with the Hopkinsville Goblins thing, is that none of these people who do this, like, sighting thing, like, they have the sighting, none of them seem to, like, with their interviews and stuff like that, none of them seem to be like, well, I wouldn't say none of them, there are a few, where they're like, yeah, I'm lucky that I got to see this.
Yeah,
and that I get
a lot of them were, like, embarrassed or ashamed.
Embarrassed or ashamed or scared.
Yeah.
With specifically Mothman. And so, should I just rip the Band-Aid off and just say what it is?
Yeah.
Say what my theory is
Yeah.
and then give the evidence, or give the evidence first?
Say what it is and then give the evidence. I think that makes more sense
All
to
right.
me.
I firmly believe that Mothman is a Russian spy.
Dun, dun, dun!
So, reason why I think this is... So, first things first about the Men in Black and Indra Cool, I think they're a psyop. I think they're the government going in and pretending to make everyone think that whatever here is an alien, because that's easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's easier to then explain than rather than that you are currently being spied on by Russians. Something worth noting is that I can't remember the hotel, but there is a hotel somewhere in Point Pleasant that did actually have a Russian in it during this time. I can't remember his name at this time, but it did actually have a Russian in it. There's nothing saying that he could be a part of the spies or anything like that, but there's nothing exactly. And the two things I want to focus on that are consistent with each of these stories is that whenever Mothman would take off into the air, it was really loud, and that their wings would not flap. And that, the eyes glowing red and stuff like that. I firmly believe that Mothman was a Russian spy, spying on, the American public, and also government buildings nearby, because there were government buildings nearby Point Pleasant. And I think he was in a jetpack. That's the reason why his wings wouldn't flap, and that's the reason why his takeoff was so loud. And he probably had, a reflective mask on for safety that would look
to be
red
fair,
when it had light shined onto it.
To be fair, a jetpack in the 60s is a bold claim, but the thing is, you think the government, or even foreign governments, would let us know that they have it?
Yeah, exactly. There's no way a foreign government would let us know that they have it.
Like, our own government don't let us know what they have. You think the Russians would? Especially in the 60s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, like I
that was
said,
the Cold
I genuinely
War.
think... Yeah, I genuinely think that these people who went... Who were going in as Men in Black and Injured Cool, I genuinely think that they were just people there to make everyone else think that the Mothman was an alien. The government itself being all like, yeah, Mothman is an alien, by, making everyone be like, look how weird we are. Clearly we must be aliens, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, I firmly believe that these sightings are real because they're ashamed, they're, scared and
You know,
embarrassed.
the thing about this statue is it might not even be based off the sightings. It might have been like an artistic thing that someone did just as a thing for Mothman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the... Yeah, that picture. Look at that, man. Stream paused.
I think there's a plaque. Yeah, there is a plaque. Can't read it from here though; it's too small. But there is a plaque underneath them.
But yeah, so that is what I firmly believe. I did come to it on my own, but I have heard other people sharing this sentiment as well.
Well, there you go.
I'm trying to think of what would. It's not a theory that's brought up, so I can't even think of any debunking of it to try then be like, well, this is my proof as to why, right? That debunking is wrong.
Right.
Although, like I said, I just want to bring up the fact that there was a Russian staying at a hotel for the time being, and when the building collapsed, he left. That's when we don't see Mothman anymore. Not only did he leave, but he never checked out. I want to also make sure that that's clear. I guess I probably should bring that up too. This guy never checked out. He never officially went to the front desk and he was like, "Yep, I'm checking out." He just vanished. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, because I was a little worried because if you're not there, then the recording probably can't hear me.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm here. I was correct. I was correct in saying it was 1966. However, it was from November of 1966 to December of 1967, so it was a little over a year's worth of sightings.
Yeah. Yeah, so this guy just fucked off, in which I would assume he was flying around there a lot, so he probably is all like, the feds are going to be here. I need to go.
He's like, oh shizza, oh diggity damn, I gotta go.
I don't think he caused the bridge collapse either.
Right. You think that was just a coincidence?
Yeah, just coincidence. And the reason why he stopped showing up after, that's going to be investigated.
Right.
He has to leave. Right? He's going to be found out if, for sure, if he stays.
Right.
It would be too hot otherwise, right? I also want to bring up the fact that a lot of the Men in Black sightings happened after the bridge collapse.
A lot of them happened before as well, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they didn't happen. All of them happened after. A lot of them.
Because in the Mothman Prophecies book, the vast majority of them I remember being in the book. I remember being before.
Oh, what I mean to say is that they stuck around when Mothman.
Right. Came. Yeah. Obviously.
Injured Cole didn't, but the Men in Black did.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess that's really it. There is one theory that I find fun. I don't believe in it because obviously I'm going to believe in the theory that I came up with. That Injured Cole was the Joker and Mothman was Batman, and everyone because those two were just so in the zeitgeist that everyone was hallucinating that these two actually are there at their time.
Or what if it's like a Mechanist antagonizer thing where they're just having their superhero supervillain battle in the middle of this town? So, because if you don't know who the Mechanist and the Antagonizer are, it's a side quest in Fallout 3 where this guy's the Mechanist, he's the superhero fighting the supervillain, the Antagonizer, and they're literally just LARPing in this town, and the town's really annoyed, and the side quest is for you to try and get rid of them so they'll leave the town alone.
Oh, why would you be annoyed? That sounds awesome.
Because they come in with robots and giant ants that are dangerous and destroy the town.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're actually destroying the town.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
And they're just LARPing, right? They're not actually fighting each other?
They are actually fighting each other, but they're literally they literally are just based off comic book characters from comic books that exist within the Fallout universe. It's a fun side quest. It's called the Superhuman Gambit.
Oh.
Hold on.
Sorry, I thought I saw something on my bed. Oh, there it is. Let's show your stream this amazing video.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think that's what we'll end off with.
Oh, we don't want to continue after this?
I don't know. Did you have more to say?
Nothing's particularly about Mothman. Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. I'm just wanting to wrap it up here in a little bit because, like I said, I do have to go into work.
It is
a little
getting pretty late.
Yeah. And I'm thinking this is a good send-off. So should we just let it roll, or did you have something else you wanted to say
go
first?
for it.
Okay.
Oh, go for it. Let it roll.
I like how it's all like stock images with the fucking watermarks still on them.
Yeah.
This is the only video I've seen from this guy, Deep Void.
Oh, he just didn't bother with the Xbox.
Yeah, he just
He's like,
steps on it. The car is like everything's like, the proportions are so odd. I like how the kid's black, but none of the parents are. Is that implying the dad was cucked? Dude, he's gonna fuck that watermelon. The fucking melon head at the end. Alright, that was something.
So I want to analyze the story here. So we got a guy busted into a house, and and he steals the stuff. And as he's going through, the family comes back. The kid, however, takes the car on a joyride, so he's still alive and well. But after this guy sees the whole family, he then kills them, and then the universe gifts him a melon, I guess. And he decides, out of all the things he's stolen, this universe gifted melon is the best thing that I got. He leaves, goes to his grandpa, and then gives him the melon as a hat.
Yep. Did you just say LARPing? Yep, I sure did, and I'm a sweet little fucking LARPer.
I want you to look at the comments on that video, by the way. Some of them are really funny.
Okay. Hang on. Let's see. Therapist, all dreams have meaning. My dreams. Family comes, thief at table. Hello, I am your personal bartender. There's a lot of them in Spanish.
Here, I'll translate.
This might just be the single strangest short I have ever been recommended. Jerry, for goodness sake, could you turn down the Undertale music? We're on a heist. The actual thief is kid who stole his parents' car.
Mm-hmm.
Best YouTube
By
short.
the way, so the ones that are in Spanish, so like the top comment that's in Spanish is, "What a beautiful story for a hat."
I don't get it.
Because, you know...
Oh, because of
the
the mill,
hat.
yeah, okay.
And then another one is the thief himself who shines with a day lantern. Don't know what that means.
Hearing this music fills you with determination. It's amazing how this video never gets old. This is just Payday 2 stealth with stock images. Why am I not surprised the world's goofiest robber would have Papyrus's theme? I'd like to think that the oldest kid was in on it and made sure the burglar only used the gun for intimidation. The bullets were merely a warning. Imagine you're at home and you hear this song playing at the kitchen.
What would you do?
I'm gonna explain what happened to the robbers that just went to my house in 6 words, just as the founding fathers intended. Okay, so this guy's saying he'd shoot robbers in his house, which, you know, as you should, but,
There you go.
um...
America's Most Wanted stock photo robber.
Leaving a comment so I can come back to watch this masterpiece with every reminder. Edit 1, I've watched this video 15 times now. Edit 2, 28 times now. Edit 3, 36 times.
Breaking news: robber kills 4 family members, steals watermelon, and leaves.
That's probably what a robber would be like. Just ignore Nintendo and ignore the Nintendo Switch and grab the watermelon. My favorite part was when the robber had the flashlight and his eyes open and his mouth open.
Let's try dreams.
I like the idea, by the way, of the breaking news thing that the news refers to him as a robber and not a murderer.
Right?
Because he killed 4 family members and stole a watermelon. And the
reject burglary, become medic. Still a better story than Twilight. I mean, the meme with that is usually still a better love story than Twilight. Okay.
I mean, this is a better love story than Twilight.
Yeah,
He gave
there
his
you go.
grandpa a hat.
My humor is at its lowest, and it shows.
What are you talking about? This is peak humor.
Wife and husband are white. One of the kids is black. Yeah, no, I made that same observation. What did the Xbox do to you?
It was bad at the time that this was made.
So
The
basically,
Xbox had no games at the time this was made.
that's just not true because this is a short.
No, the original one. This is not the original version of this film, of this thing.
Of this film, this cinematic masterpiece.
This is a re-upload. This came out pretty shortly after Undertale did.
Oh, okay. He didn't even bother paying for the stock photos. We need a second season with the oldest kid finding his vengeance.
I am vengeance.
Nah, the guy in black is totally borrowing that. Fun fact, the thief actually fired exactly 4 shots. Let's be honest, nobody searched this up, but they are glad that they saw the perfection of this video.
I actually did search it up because I wanted to see it again, because I saw it a long, long time ago.
There's something poetic about a robber who only stealed a melon. I wonder if anyone corrected him and
And
said
kills
stole.
4 family members.
That's a melony? Oh, like felony. Okay, I get the joke now. Someone could make a haiku from this, maybe? Please don't try to shoot me, Doge. Humble? What? I don't get a lot of these comments. That's just racist. Lol, look at me. I am speaking English in non-English channels. OMG, I'm a criminal. I'm sorry, but it steals. Stealed. This is literally what robbery movies are, but robbery and movies are both misspelled, but you know.
Movies is misspelled.
Let's try.
Alright. I keep scrolling and it does that, so I think that's good. Let's be honest, these are some inspiring comments. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed this foray into cryptids and shenanigans and hot aliens, I guess.
Aliens, indeed.
Anyway, see you guys later. You're not going to say goodbye? I left it so you could say goodbye.
Goodbye, Rumble, and for the future, goodbye, YouTube.
Alright, everyone. See ya, chumps. Toodles.
I was about to say, normally you say toodles.
Yeah,
not see
I
ya,
said
chumps.
toodles. I've ended with see ya, chumps before. Anyway, toodles.